I'm a Warden Sandworm, but an evil Enderblaze wants to destroy me. Watch as I get stronger, make new friends, and build an amazing base. Will I be able to survive 100 days in hardcore Minecraft, or will the Enderblaze destroy me forever? On day 1, I spawned into the dunes as a Warden Sandworm. Wow, a sandworm in a dune. I've never heard of anything like that. Even if I am only a baby with 10 hearts, this is pretty cool. But things didn't stay pretty cool for long. They were about to get way too hot. A fireball blasted the ground next to me, almost turning me to ash.
Oh man, that was hilarious. You're gonna be a fun plaything.
I turned and saw an Enderblaze floating through the air towards me. He looked so mysterious and powerful, and he certainly didn't look friendly.
Welcome to the desert world. It didn't used to be a desert world, but I made some changes to it, just for fun, you know.
Who are you?
I'm Eddie the Enderblaze, and I'm here for a good time, which means that you're not gonna be here for a long time. Better start running, kid. My little friends are gonna wanna play with you too.
Eddie the Enderblaze disappeared, and afterwards, a small gang of Endermen appeared.
You heard the boss, boys. Let's get him.
I was worried that I was outmatched here, when suddenly, I realized a special power I had, the Warden Sonic Boom. I blasted the Sonic Boom at the Endermen, and vaporized them instantly. Then, I used my sandworm powers to tunnel down into the ground. Great, I've already made an archenemy. This is gonna be a fun 100 days. On day 2, I surfaced again, managing to escape my freaky ender pursuers. I was real hungry after all that, so it was time to hunt down some food. Lucky for me, it didn't take me long to find an apple tree, which I broke down and started eating the apples from. And the spare wood I took from the tree allowed me to make a wooden pickaxe. A perfect means to an end. I used the wooden pickaxe to dig up some stone, making myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. I mined a bunch more wood and sandstone, so I was able to start building myself a one-room base. This is pretty luxurious for a sandworm like me, but my construction noises caught the attention of one of the Endermen who'd been chasing me earlier.
There you are. Let's battle, wormy boy.
I'm proud to be a worm. You can't insult me like that. With all my wormy might, I ran over to the Enderman with my stone sword and battled him until he was no more. None of these Ender monsters are gonna keep me down. On day 3, I left the dunes and went out to the desert, proving that every part of this world seemed to be drier than reading the dictionary while really sleepy. But while I was out in the arid expanse of the desert, I was suddenly attacked by a monstrous beast, a scary floating Endergast.
Oh, so you're the sad little worm that Eddie was telling me about at the lab. Funny, I thought you'd be bigger. What a disappointment.
Hey, that isn't nice. Wait, what was that about a lair?
I've told you too much already. Hope you've got your affairs in order, worm boy, cause you're about to get roasted.
He started shooting fireballs at me, not even giving me enough time to return fire with my sonic blasts. All I could do was turn tail and excavate my way into the ground as fast as I could. But as I went deeper and deeper, I ended up running into a basalt snake who was already hiding underground.
Hey, this is my hole. It was made for me. What are you doing down here?
Sorry, I was just trying to escape from an evil creature.
Oh, I see. An evil creature. I get how it is. The name's Betty. Nice to meet you.
I'm Zozo. Say, wanna come stay at my base? Us armless creatures have got to stick together.
Sounds good, bro. Let's go.
From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my small base with Betty the basalt snake.
Wow, Zozo. What a huge base you have. But are the rooms all empty?
Thank you for pointing that out, Betty. Thankfully, I've got the tools and the building skills to change that. I worked to build a small room for Betty to sleep in while staying at my base. Once that was done, she at least seemed pretty happy with it.
I'm pretty happy with this.
No problem. Guess the base isn't so small now. While Betty slithered into her room to get some sleep, I decided to have a look around the perimeter of my base, trying to assess what upgrade would be best to build next. Maybe a pool would be nice. But I didn't need to think for long, because suddenly, the floor broke next to me, and an Enderman teleported in front of me.
Waha! It is I, a random Enderman. If you think you can defeat me, think again. because
I destroyed him with one of my sonic blasts, easily taking care of the problem. But I noticed that after being destroyed, the Enderman had dropped a new tool, a hammer and excavator, a tool that can break a 3x3 block area. Oh wow, this is gonna make me an even better tunneler. From day 6 to day 8, I was slithering through the desert again, looking for more interesting loot I could gather up. Sadly, I didn't find much. I just went back to my base, feeling wormily sorry for myself. This place looks so drab. It's majorly bumming me out. Wait, I know. Some banners would make this place look great. But to get banners, I needed wool. And to get wool, I needed sheep. That's why I slithered through the dunes until I found myself some hardy desert sheep. Because sheep, like most people, are fascinated by worms and find them to be wonderful and interesting creatures. So they followed me back to my base. Then I built a pen to keep them in. Once they'd grown their wool out a little, I'd be able to shear them and make some awesome banners. I wonder if I can find some more sheep out there. The more banners, the better, after all. I slithered back out into the dunes. I searched for a few hours when suddenly a fireball came blasting at me. I narrowly dodged, saving my wormy skin, but I knew that if it hit me, I'd be doomed. When the dust cleared, I turned and saw Eddie the Enderblaze floating next to me.
You should have seen your goofy little worm face. You were like, ooh, oh no, I'm gonna die. Yeah, that's what you said.
I never said that.
Who's gonna believe you? I'm the ultimate authority here, and that's why I'm gonna use all my epic cosmic power to have some fun.
But your idea of fun is trying to destroy people.
Yeah, nice to know you're finally getting it. Say, let's play a new game. This one is called Burn, Zozo, Burn.
He started hurling powerful fireballs at me, so all I could do is turn and run for the hills. Or rather, the dunes. It's not gonna be easy for a lowly worm like me to defeat a being that powerful. I need to get stronger. From day 9 to day 10, I was feeling pretty discouraged after my run-in with Eddie. I have so much work to do if I want to get stronger, and I don't even know where to start.
Hey, don't look so down. It'll be okay, Zozo. It's not gonna be easy, but I think you can do it. Hey, guess what? I started working on a statue to spruce up the base, since it was looking pretty dull. No offense. Go take a peek. It's not finished yet, but it'll be a surprise.
Oh, I do like surprises, as long as they're good. Thanks, Betty. I walked out to the back of the base, and sure enough, there were the beginnings of a statue. Wow, this looks awesome. I can't wait to see what it is. Can you tell yet? Leave a guess in the comments if you know what the statue is gonna be.
Who are you talking to?
Don't worry about it. What's up?
I'm the best roommate in the world because I just added another upgrade to the base. Come take a look.
I followed her to a storage room, a training room, and a furnace. Whoa, this all looks amazing. Thank you so much, Betty.
It's my pleasure, Zozo.
From day 11 to day 12, I had the strangest dream. In it, I saw the desert world, but it wasn't a desert. It was lush and green, covered with lakes and rivers and leafy trees. Then, Eddie the Enderblaze came stomping into town. He blasted the landscape with fireballs, burning trees to ash and drying up the water.
Now this is more like it. If I had it my way, everywhere would be a desert. Who cares about water and snow and green plants? Yuck, that's no fun. Hey, I've got an idea. What if I burn the whole overworld down and make it my desert playground? I bet it'll only take me 100 days to do it.
Then, I woke up. Oh geez, what a weird dream! But I get the feeling it was real, which means after 100 days are up, the overworld is gonna be turned into a desert. I can't let that happen. This isn't just about me saving myself, it's about saving everything. From day 13 to day 15, I traveled back out into the desert. I was just starting to take in the scenery when I spotted that ender gas from before, floating through the air with a nasty attitude.
Oh hey, the sad little worm came back. Ready to get your butt kicked? Do worms even have butts?
I'm not even sure, but it doesn't matter. You're not gonna kick any part of me.
I don't have to take talk like that from some tiny loser worm. Maybe a fireball sandwich will shut you up.
He started shooting fireballs at me, but I managed to dodge them this time, firing back with some sonic blasts. Unlike last time, I actually landed a hit, knocking him back. While he was recovering, I rushed at him and attacked again, finally defeating the Endergast once and for all. Tell the boys at the lair that you lost to a worm. Oh, wait, you can't. Oh, well, that was awesome. You know what? I feel stronger already. My heart's increased to 30, and I felt tough enough to break through a wall. So I tried it out, and what do you know? I did it. I guess I can break through walls now. This day gets better and better. From day 16 to day 19, I decided to upgrade my gear to match my newfound strength. I found a mining cavern and ventured inside to look for materials. Oh, a vein of iron. I need to get some of that. I was about to dig up the iron when an ender creeper jumped out of the shadows and attacked me. Hey, I don't have time for this. I've got a mine. Luckily, he wasn't too strong, and I managed to defeat him right away. Next, I dug up the iron and took it back to my base. There, I got to put Betty's furnace to good use and smelt it into ore. I crafted a nice new iron sword and pickaxe. Check me out. I'm not just a little desert worm anymore. I'm a worm with an iron sword. That's pretty cool. From day 20 to day 22, I was hanging out around the base, trying out my new sword, when Betty came slithering up to me with a really worried look on her face. What's going on, Betty?
It's Eddie the Underblaze. I just spotted him on his way here to attack the base.
Oh no, not after all the hard work you did. I've got to go stop him. I ran out of the base as fast as I could until I could see Eddie the Enderblaze floating toward the base. You need to leave. You're not welcome here.
Oh yeah? What are you gonna do? Fight me about it? Please. Yeah, right.
You know what? I am gonna fight you.
Yeah, your funeral.
While he was gloating, I drew my sword and charged. He countered with a fireball, but I managed to dodge it and almost get in a good hit. But then, he floated out of my way at the last minute, getting away. Still, I held my own a lot better than I did before.
This isn't worth it. I'm out of here. But I'll be back with some of my buddies. You can count on that. We'll mess you up, little worm.
He floated out of sight, leaving me alone and my base unattacked. I may not have beaten him yet, but that felt pretty good. If I can hold my own like that now, I know I can get strong enough to beat him for real. From day 23 to day 26, I was inspecting the area around my base and making sure it all checked out when I spotted a hat lying on the ground. Oh look, a fedora. This will make me look so much cooler. I put it on, and I was right. The hat made me look super cool, and like a guy capable of saving the overworld from desertification. Subscribe? Is that a word? I don't know, but it sounds like one. I know my name is a word though, Zozo. Which reminds me, you can find more of my videos by searching ZO. From day 27 to day 31, Betty came to talk to me, beaming with excitement.
Zozo, I finished the next part of the statue. Come take a look and tell me what you think.
I followed her to the statue, and I still couldn't tell what it was going to be, but it looked really good just the same. This is super impressive.
Thanks. But don't you think it's missing something?
Maybe. Oh, hey, do you think some pink terracotta would tie the whole thing together?
Yes. That's it. You can find it in the Badlands. Can you get some for me? I'm pretty busy around here.
Sure. I traveled out to the Badlands to search for the pink terracotta. Suddenly, an Enderman attacked me out of nowhere.
Hey, are you the worm who put an end to random Enderman? That was my brother. I'm Tandem Enderman. I'm much stronger than my brother. You'll never defeat me.
So anyway, I defeated him right away and continued my search for the pink terracotta. From day 32 to day 35, I continued exploring the Badlands. Come on, where can a sharply dressed worm get some pink terracotta around here? I was starting to get pretty frustrated, so I took a second to stand still and take a deep breath. While I was calming down and clearing my mind, a phantom fox drifted toward me. Oh, hi! You're not a scary phantom, are you?
Oh, no, I'm not scary. I'm just scared. You see, it's my friend. He's in trouble.
Oh no, in trouble is the worst place for a friend to be. What happened?
We were just hanging out and being in a silly, goofy mood when all of a sudden this giant warden dragon swooped in and snatched him up. He carried him off that way. Can you help me save him?
I'll do my best. From day 36 to day 39, I followed the Phantom Fox's directions toward her missing friend. I wound up outside of a cave. This definitely looks like the kind of place where a dragon would hang out. I guess I'll look inside. I could hear some distinctive voices.
Hello? Is there someone out there? Please help. I've been kidnapped.
Silence, fool. If you keep making so much noise, I'll bite your head clean off.
No way I was going to let that happen. I ran into the cave, sword drawn and ready to fight. There, I saw the warden dragon. The phantom fox wasn't kidding. He was huge and scary too. Let him go.
Well, I was planning to eat nether serpent for dinner, but I wouldn't mind having some worm for dessert.
How about instead of that, you just don't do that.
Tempting offer, but no thanks. In fact, I think I'll have you as an appetizer instead.
He roared and charged at me, but I had my sword ready. When he tried to snap me up in his jaws, I slashed at him with my sword, then followed it up with a sonic blast. From day 40 to day 43, I continued my fight against the warden dragon. He was big and mean, but I was smaller and faster, so I was able to get away and keep attacking. Finally, I managed to defeat the warden dragon. Behind him, I could see a nether serpent locked in a cage. You must be the phantom fox's friend. I'm Zozo. I'm here to rescue you.
Did you find a key? I can't get out of here.
I didn't, but luckily I'm pretty good at breaking through walls. Stand back. He did, and I broke through the wall of the cage, setting him free. Let's get out of here.
Great idea. I don't want to spend another second in this cave.
Together, the nether serpent and I ran out of there and traveled back to the phantom fox.
Ned, I'm so glad you're okay.
It's all thanks to this worm you found in this snazzy hat. Thank you, both of you.
I'm happy to help. Stay safe out there, you guys. From day 44 to day 49, I finally gathered some pink terracotta and carried it back to the base. Here you go, Betty.
Thanks, Zozo. I'll get back to building right away.
You're doing an amazing job.
Well, let's see if you still think so when it's finished.
I'm sure I will. I can't wait to see what it is. While Betty was continuing to build the statue, I decided to do some work on the base myself. I'm worried that Eddie the Enderblaze is going to come back and try to attack again. I should do something to keep us safe. I know! I'll build a perimeter wall to keep him from getting too close. It took all day, but I was able to build a big strong wall all around the base. If Eddie decides to come back, it won't be so easy for him to get inside. After I finished the perimeter wall, I decided to go check on Betty and see how the statue was coming along. How'd the pink terracotta work out?
Haven't gotten to it yet, but I made some proper progress. See for yourself. I think it looks super!
It really does! What is it?
Guess!
Is it a statue of you?
Nope! You'll see when it's done!
Can't wait! From day 50 to day 53, I woke up to the sound of Betty yelling for me.
Zozo, come quick! Eddie came back, and he brought a whole bunch of Endermen with him!
Oh no! Is the wall keeping them out?
For now, but they're breaking it down! Hurry!
I jumped out of bed and ran out to the front of the base. Eddie, I told you before, you're not welcome here. The Enderman minions were trying to break down the wall, but I couldn't see Eddie the Enderblaze anywhere. Then I spotted him hanging way back and barking orders at his goons from afar.
No one tells me what to do or where to go, worm. I go where I want, do what I want, and destroy whatever I want. When are you gonna get that?
Never!
Get him, boys. I'm getting bored of all this standing around.
The Endermen attacked me, but they were no match. While I was fighting them off, I saw another one grab Betty and run off with her. Betty, no!
It's gonna be so fun burning her to a crisp. Say bye-bye to your little friend.
Eddie floated away, leaving me to finish my fight with the Enderman. He was stronger than Random or Tandem, but I still managed to defeat him. I feel stronger, like I'm not just some little worm anymore. I grew into a bigger worm, my heart's increasing to 50. I wonder if I have any new abilities. I ran at the wall, climbing up the side of it. I do! I can climb walls now! Okay, enough celebrating. I need to find Betty and save her. From day 54 to day 57, I fixed up the damage to the base, repairing the wall where Eddie's minions broke it down. Now it's back to how it was, and ready for Betty to come home. Oh no, I almost forgot. I have to go rescue her. I'll need some advice on saving a kidnapped friend, and I think I know exactly who I can talk to. I traveled back to the Badlands and looked for the Phantom Fox. Hey, can you help me?
After what you did for me and my friend? Of course. What's What's the matter?
My snake friend, Betty, was kidnapped by some guys working for Eddie the Enderblaze.
That jerk? He's terrible. I've heard he takes us prisoners to a hideout in the Mojave Desert where he and a bunch of other bad guys have some kind of lair. I bet he took her there. You'll need more than an iron sword to get in and out of there in one piece, though.
Then I'd better find a way to upgrade my gear, and quick! Thank you for your help!
Anytime. Good luck. I hope you find your friend.
From day 58 to day 62, I traveled back to the mining cavern and climbed back down inside. Okay, I've got a mine like I've never mined before if I want to get Betty back home safe. Let's get to work. I was digging up some iron when I heard a low, threatening growl behind me. I spun around and saw a thorn wolf sneaking up on me. Not right now, I'm busy. But he didn't care. He jumped at me anyway, and I had to fight back and quickly defeat him before I could get back to work. Now that that's out of the way, let's see what I can find. Oh hey, diamonds! I gathered as many diamonds as I could find and took them back to my base. There, I used them to craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. This is much better than my old sword. Now I'll be able to defend myself and fight my way into that villain lair. From day 63 to day 66, I was feeling really worried about Betty. I walked around to the back of the base and took a look at her statue. I wish I could tell what it was. I promise, Betty, I'll rescue you from Eddie and the rest of those creeps. You'll be able to finish the statue and do whatever else you want to do. I practiced fighting with my new sword for a little and trained my aiming with my sonic boom until I felt ready to go rescue her. Okay, I can't put it off anymore. It's now or never. I've got to go try and get Betty back. But before I do, there's something I'm forgetting. Oh, I remember. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my adventures. Okay, that's everything I needed to do. Time to go to the Mojave Desert and perform a rescue mission. I'll see you soon, Betty. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to the Mojave Desert in search of Eddie the Enderblaze's lair. Once I was there, it didn't take too long to spot it. I just had to look for the creepiest building around. Yeah, this looks like his kind of hangout. I bet Betty is locked up somewhere inside. I've got to get in there and rescue her before Eddie burns her to a crisp, like he said he would. At first, it looked like there was no one guarding the way, and I could just march right in. But I should have known that wasn't the case. As soon as I tried to cross the threshold, an Enderman jumped out from behind the door and attacked me.
Hey, you're the worm that killed Random and Tandem.
Oh, and I guess you're their other brother, and you've got some kind of a rhyming name?
Oh, my name's Carl, but I don't like hearing about my buddies losing to a worm. So trust me when I say you're gonna lose this fight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're wrong about that one, pal. I drew my diamond sword and started swinging. The Enderman didn't last long once I fought back, and pretty soon the way into the lair was clear. Here I come, Betty. From day 71 to day 74, I explored some rooms of Eddie the Enderblaze's base, searching for Betty. I stumbled into a room and saw an unopened chest sitting inside. I bet there's some good stuff in there.
You better believe there is. Not that you'll ever get to see it, pathetic little worm.
I spun around and saw an ender gas floating menacingly toward me. Oh no, not this again.
You better believe it. Scared?
No way! I ain't afraid of no ghost. Let's do this. I drew my sword and got ready for a fight. He lunged at me, but I dodged, climbing up the wall to get out of his way. Then I jumped back down, using the element of surprise to attack.
Hey, no fair. Only our side is allowed to use tricks.
No tricks here. I'm just faster than you. Can't catch me. Here I go. Oops, missed me again.
Ugh, stay still so I can destroy you.
Nah, I'm good. I think I'll do this instead. I climbed back up the wall onto the balcony and fired a sonic blast at the Endergast. Who you gonna call? Endergast Busters!
That doesn't even make any sense.
And then the fight was over. Time to check out what's in that chest. I opened it up and found a full set of diamond armor inside. Just as I finished putting it on, I could hear a commotion coming from the next room. Sounds like that's where the action is. I'd better check it out. From day 75 to day 78, following the sounds coming from inside, I approached the door, but it was locked. Luckily, my hammer can handle this. I broke through the wall, and into the next room I found Betty, locked up in a cell. Betty, you're still okay.
For now, I don't know how much longer I've got. That Enderblaze is coming back soon.
Then I'd better work fast and get you out of here before he gets back. I was letting Betty out of her cell when I heard Eddie the Enderblaze burst through the door.
Too late. I'm already back. Nothing gets past me, kid. Since you don't seem to be able to learn your lesson, I guess I'm gonna have to make it hurt.
Or maybe I'll have to teach you a lesson.
Ha! Nice try! But I take a lot of pride in refusing to learn anything from anybody else.
Get out of here, Betty. I'll meet you back at home.
See you soon, Zozo!
Betty slithered out of there, while Eddie the Enderblaze kept his attention on me.
This talking stuff is so dull. Let's get to the part where I roast you to ashes instead.
He shot a fireball at me, but I dodged it, climbing up the wall and out of the way. It came pretty close to hitting me though, and I could feel the heat as it whizzed by. That was a close one.
Not close enough.
He shot another fireball at me, but I jumped down from the wall, attacking with my sword.
Wait, no, you don't get to do that. I always win.
I guess not.
It won't be until I burn this whole overworld down. This isn't over, Worm.
He shot one more fireball at me and ran out of the room while I was busy getting out of the way. I'll get to finish this fight later. For now, I'd better get home and make sure Betty made it back okay. From day 79 to day 84, I ran back to my base. While I was traveling home, Eddie the Enderblaze retreated to a special secret hideout room. He pushed past the sign that said no losers allowed and locked himself inside.
If Zozo won't respect my incredible power, then I'll just have to make him. This game isn't fun anymore, so I think it's time to change the rules.
He opened a chest and pulled out a potion, drinking every last drop. He began to change, going bigger and stronger.
That's more like it. Wait until that little worm sees the new and improved Eddie. We'll have some real fun.
From day 85 to day 89, I made it back to my base. When I got there, Betty was waiting for me.
Zozo, I'm so glad you're all right. I can't take care of this place by myself, you know.
Plus, we're friends, and you'd miss me if I didn't come back.
Sure, that too. I'm almost finished with the statue, by the way.
Amazing, I'm so excited.
First, take this.
She gave me a book containing a fire aspect 2 enchantment. While she went off to finish the rest of the statue, I used the enchantment to enchant my sword. Now this sword is even more amazing than it was before. I'm on fire! Ha! But not really, that would hurt. Anyway, time to go see how it's going with Betty.
I'm finished with the statue. Can you tell what it is now?
I can. It's a giant sandworm. It looks just like me, only huge and heroic.
You can be a hero too, Zozo. You just need to get hold of a potion of power.
Oh, great. Where's that?
Somewhere in the Badlands.
From day 90 to day 94, I traveled to the Badlands in search of the potion of power. I wound up at a mysterious-looking house and decided to take a look inside. This definitely looks like the kind of place where you'd hide a powerful potion. Let's see if I'm right. I looked around and found a chest. I bet it's in here. I just hope no one attacks me while I'm trying to open this chest. I believe that's my cue. An Enderman rushed out of a hiding place and attacked me while my guard was down, knocking me back. Oh no, I guess I jinxed myself.
Also, I'm supposed to be guarding the potion of power. Oops, wasn't supposed to tell you it was here. My bad. Anyway, I'll get to the destroying you part now.
But he didn't have the advantage anymore, now that I knew he was there. I drew my sword and fought back as hard as I could. Before too long, I defeated him. Now, let's see about that potion. I opened the chest, and there it was. I'll take this with me and save it for the perfect moment. It's all starting to come together, and just in time, too. The 100 days are almost up, and there isn't much time left to stop Eddie from turning the entire overworld into a desert. From day 95 to day 97, I returned home to my base with the potion of power and a sense of confidence in the battle ahead. I'm feeling so much more prepared than I ever thought I would, but I still feel like I'm missing something. Just then, I heard a knock at my door. Who is it?
It's Phoebe.
Who?
Oh, I'm the Phantom Fox. You helped save my friend from a dragon. Then I gave you advice on saving your friend from Eddie the Enderblaze. We've bonded over a lot of kidnapping stuff, now that I think about it.
Right! I opened the door, and Phoebe the Phantom Fox was standing there, holding something in her hands.
I brought you a present. I thought it might help you out when you face off against Eddie. Here you go.
She handed me a full set of netherite armor. Phoebe, this is incredible! Thank you so much! What a nice gift! And I didn't even know your name. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There was a lot going on before, and
And I forgot to introduce myself. Good luck with the fight. Have fun storming the castle.
It's more of a lair than a castle, but thank you so much. I'll try my very best. On day 98, I was getting ready to finally set off toward the Mojave Desert and try to defeat Eddie the Enderblaze. To psych myself up, I took some time to look up at the statue that Betty built for me. It really was amazing. Oh, giant sandworm, I hope I can be as powerful as you look. I hope I can save the world and keep it from turning into nothing but desert. And I hope everyone watching remembers to search for more Zozo videos by typing in ZOZO and leave a comment about who you want to see next. On day 99, I traveled to the Mojave Desert. Finally, I reached Eddie the Enderblaze's lair. Okay, it's now or never. I think it's the perfect time for this potion of power. I grabbed the potion and drank it, feeling the power flow through me. I felt myself growing bigger and stronger, transforming into a sandworm as impressive and powerful as the statue that inspired me. My hearts increased to 100, and I was so excited that I jumped into the air and landed on the ground with a smash, breaking a huge crater into the earth. Wow, that's an amazing new ability! Okay, enough messing around. Time to find Eddie and stop him! I ran into the base, looking for Eddie the Enderblaze. Come out and face me, Eddie! He came floating into view, and I noticed that he was much bigger than he was before. But luckily, so was I.
Looks like you had a growth spurt, huh, little worm? You just couldn't resist copying me. Can't blame you. I'm pretty amazing. But you'll never be as tough as me. Ready to play my favorite game? Burn, Zozo, burn!
He blasted a fireball in my direction, but my netherite armor protected me. I countered with my sword, but he dodged. So I took things up a notch, jumping into the air and smashing the ground. That worked, and it knocked him off balance long enough for me to attack with my sword and actually hit. It's working! I smashed up the ground a few more times and landed more devastating hits on him.
How are you doing this? I'm so much more powerful than you. You're just a loser little worm.
I may be a worm, but I'm not a loser! I attacked again and landed one final blow, defeating Eddie the Enderblaze once and for all! I did it! I saved the overworld from turning into a desert! On day 100, I returned home to my base, feeling proud of myself. When I got there, I saw Betty and Phoebe waiting for me there. Hey guys, I did it! I defeated Eddie the Enderblaze. Now everyone is safe.
That's fantastic! I knew you could do it!
Thank you. I just wish I knew what to do now. After you beat the bad guy, what's next, you know?
I have a suggestion. Let's have a party!
Sounds great to me. I can show off my dance moves. Phoebe excitedly approached after that.
Oh, I love dancing. What kind of dances do you know?
Well, I only really know one. The worm! On day 1, I spawned into the treacherous wooded badlands as a tiger snake. Whoa, this has got to be one of the weirdest creatures I've ever seen. Shame that I've only got 10 hearts though. I started slithering around, trying to figure out what exactly it meant to be a tiger snake. But my exploration was interrupted by the sound of someone hacking down trees. Uh-oh, they sound strong. Boom! A huge bandit warlord burst from the tree line. He was so scary, and he didn't look like he was here to wish me a good morning.
Oi, what do you think you're doing, mate?
I'm not sure I was doing anything. I'm Zozo. I just got here.
Do my eyes deceive me? Are you some kind of snake tiger?
Technically a tiger snake, but pretty much.
That's not fair. Combining a tiger and a snake? That's OP, mate. I can't let that stand. So me and my oogly boogly boys are gonna have to chop you into pieces.
You'll have to catch me first. I slithered away as fast as I could, which, lucky for me, was actually really fast. I managed to outrun the bandit warlord by weaving through the badlands, but he wasn't the only one after me. I saw barbarians running behind me, trying to catch me. They were fast, but I was still faster. If those guys caught me, I knew I'd be doomed. In the end, I was able to get away by the scales of my teeth and hid. I'd figured out why the bandit warlord and his oogly boogly barbarians wanted to kill me in the morning. On day 2, I started to further explore the wooded badlands. So a gang of really scary dudes are after me, and I don't really understand why. I've gotta think my way out of this, but it's hard to think when hunger is nearing. I slithered around until I found a nice apple tree, which I used my tiger snake strength to knock down, collecting all the wood and yummy apples. Love the apples, love the crunch, but what am I gonna do with all this wood? That's when I had a brilliant idea. I'd use that wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and start mining myself some stone. With that, I made myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And I couldn't have had better timing, because a barbarian suddenly appeared.
Yeah, there you are. We've been looking all over for you. If I'm the one to destroy you, the bandit warlord will promote me to second in command. I'll be way better than that jerk, the brigand.
Sorry to rain on your career aspirations, barbarian, but I'm not gonna let myself be a step on anyone's ladder. I attacked him with my stone sword, slashing away. It was a tough fight, but before I knew it, I defeated my first enemy. Maybe the bandit warlord was right. I might be a little OP. I spent the rest of the day mining more stone and building myself a basic house with one room and a bed, so I could finally get some rest. On day 3, I decided to go exploring, seeing if I could find some more materials in other biomes. That's why I slithered into the beautiful cherry blossom forest. Wow, this place is gorgeous. I kind of regret not starting to build my base here, but I soon found there was a good reason why I shouldn't have made my base there. It was home of the bloodthirsty brigand, one of the bandit warlord's deadliest henchmen.
So you're the tiger snake. When the warlord told me about you, I was expecting something much more impressive. Not just a sad little malformed freak.
Oh, you're so going down for that, dude! But as much as I wanted to defend my honor, the brigand was just too strong. I couldn't fight him. I could only give up, turn around, and run away to survive. That was so embarrassing. I can't believe I got defeated like that. I still need to get so much stronger.
I believe I can help you there, young warrior.
Who said that? I turned and saw a majestic desert wolf step out from between the trees.
I sense greatness in you, Zozo. I am a guide to those with the potential to be warriors for good and justice. With my training, I believe you can become as strong as you were meant to be and bring an end to the bandit warlord's empire of fear.
That sounds like exactly what I need. Come back to my base with me, Desert Wolf. We'll talk more there. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with the Desert Wolf. I decided to build him a house right next to mine, so he could come and talk to me anytime he liked.
I find your eagerness to begin your training to be incredibly encouraging, Zozo. Thank you for building me my own room.
Of course, Desert Wolf. Just let me know if you need anything. I left the Desert Wolf alone to meditate in his room, but while I was chilling outside, admiring the construction work I'd done, another barbarian came running towards me.
Tiger Snake, I will annihilate you in the name of the bandit warlord!
But thankfully, he didn't annihilate me. Instead, I pulled out my sword and annihilated him. When he was gone, he dropped a bow and a few arrows that I picked up. Finally, I have a good long-range attack. From day 6 to day 8, I decided to build a little pen for my sheep so that I could collect wool later on. Afterwards, I returned to the wooded Badlands in search of some sheep. Sheep would be perfect. It's so cold this time of year. I could really use some wool. After over a day of searching, I found a flock of sheep and shepherded them back to my base. While I was out in the Badlands searching for even more sheep to shepherd, I ran into the worst possible person I could run into, the bandit warlord himself.
So you must live in the wooded Badlands. Good to know. Though you won't be living here for long, or living at all, cause I'm gonna destroy ya.
Not so fast, warlord. I'm armed. Check out my cool new bow.
That is certainly a cool bow, Zozo. How does it compare to mine?
That's when he pulled out a crossbow and shot out a fully loaded firework, and all I could do was run. And as I was running away, he kept firing explosive bolts at me. This is bad. I need to get out of here. Lucky for me, slithering in a serpentine maneuver came naturally. I was able to escape without getting hit, but I knew that the next time I faced him, I might not have been so lucky. From day 9 to day 10, I returned to my base, feeling beaten and battered by my one-sided battle against the bandit warlord. But when I returned, I saw something incredible, the start of a statue. I couldn't tell what it was meant to be yet, but just looking at it filled me with surprise and awe. Wow, I wonder what it's going to be. What do you think? If you can guess, give me a hint in the comments. I immediately ran over to my friend, the Desert Wolf, to ask how this had happened.
I felt as though you needed some inspiration on your grand quest, Zozo. It isn't easy to have the weight of the world bearing down on you. I thought a monument to a certain phrase would help you see straight.
Thank you so much, Desert Wolf. I feel so lucky to have you on my team.
The statue isn't the only thing I've done. I made a few base upgrades, a new house complete with a storage room and a training room. They should come in handy along your quest for victory against the bandit warlord.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome! I can't even begin to tell you how helpful that'll be. This day just keeps getting better and better. From day 11 to day 12, the Desert Wolf and I were hanging out in the training room. I was working on improving my fighting and slithering skills, while Desert Wolf gave me his sage advice.
Villain you are up against is full of insecurity, Zozo.
What do you mean by that?
He and his band of brutish barbarians rule this land through fear. Nobody is brave enough to stand up to them. But those who rule through fear walk on thin ice. The second people stop fearing them, their rule crumbles.
So that's why he's worried about me being OP. If I make it look like he's not so scary anymore, he won't be able to rule over all his bandits.
Exactly. This battle is not just one that must be won physically. It's a battle of the mind. You've already rattled him. Keep going. Keep getting stronger. And eventually, you will ensure that his empire of cruelty and fear falls.
From day 13 to day 15, I was ready to start putting my new knowledge and training to good use in the Cherry Blossom Forest. I needed to be scarier than the bandit warlord, and the best way to send a strong message was to take out one of his toughest henchmen, the brigand. I made a beeline for where I first saw him, and sure enough, he was there, still looking as mean and smug as ever.
The weird little freak of nature is back! Did I not kick your butt hard enough before? Guess I've gotta show you your place all over again.
All you guys love to talk and talk and talk about how cool and tough you are. How about you put your money where your mouth is?
Okay, weirdo, let's do it!
I crossed swords with the brigand, taking him on with all my might. This time, I had the strength of my goal behind me, and when the dust had cleared, the brigand was defeated, and I'd won the day. I feel like I'm stronger than ever. Wait, what's that weird feeling? I'd gained enough XP to level up. I got bigger, stronger, and suddenly I had 30 hearts. But that wasn't all. I'd gained a new power, the ability to stretch myself and look longer. I bet this could come in handy somehow. From day 16 to day 19, still feeling confident after defeating that evil brigand, I decided it was time to treat myself to an equipment upgrade. That's why I hunted through the wooded Badlands until I found the perfect mining cavern. I bet they'll have some iron down there. I ventured deep down into the mine until I found a rich vein of iron ore that was ripe for mining. I dug it up and collected as much iron ore as I could, then started to leave the cave. But I wasn't alone down there. I saw some freaky old Forsaken blocking the exit. There were a lot of them, and I didn't feel like taking the risk of taking them all out at once. I slithered through them and escaped the cave, heading straight back to my base. There, I used a furnace to smelt the ore into ingots and made myself a brand new iron sword and iron pickaxe. That was a risky trip, but it paid off. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up with the Desert Wolf standing at the foot of my bed.
Zozo, it is time for you to prove your mettle once again.
What? What's happening?
Your enemy, the bandit warlord, is at the gates. He's here alone. I believe he wishes to defeat you.
Well, I'd better go and see him. I slithered out of my room and saw the bandit warlord standing right there. He looked scarier than ever, with his sword and his firework crossbow. I didn't know if I could win this fight.
Hello, Zozo. Fancy seeing you here, right? I was trundling along, looking for a weakling to destroy. And as luck would have it, the very weakling I wanted to destroy fell right into my lap. I should buy a lottery ticket after this.
Are you sure that you're so lucky, Warlord? Or is it all just talk?
Attack me and find out, wimp.
I didn't want to. Even with my new hearts, I didn't feel confident that I could win in a one-on-one fight with the bandit warlord. But I had another potential plan. Okay, we'll fight. But first, let me enter my ultimate power form. I used my stretching ability to make myself look huge. That's when the bandit warlord started to look nervous.
On second thoughts, I left the laundry out. And I'm expecting a delivery at the bandit base. Rain check, I'll destroy you another day, Zozo.
The bandit warlord ran off. My plan worked. I'd intimidated him. In that moment, I realized there were more ways I could win than just with raw power. Just like the Desert Wolf said, it's a battle of the mind. From day 23 to day 26, I was tidying up around my base when I spotted a frontiersman cap on the ground. Oh hey, someone must have dropped this here. I'll just try it on. When I put the cap on, I felt faster all of a sudden. I felt sneakier. I think this cap increases my sneak speed. This is awesome! I hope whoever lost this doesn't miss it too much, because this is gonna be a huge help. I decided to double check around the spot where I found the cap, just in case there were any upgrades I missed. I didn't find any, but I did find a note. It says, "Don't forget to search ZOZO for more amazing adventures." Sounds like pretty good advice. From day 27 to day 31, the Desert Wolf came to see me.
Zozo, I have something of the utmost importance to show you. I have made an addition to the statue.
I followed him to the statue, and I still couldn't quite tell what it was, but it looked pretty good. This is really coming together.
I am honored you think so, and yet something troubles me. The statue seems incomplete. What would you suggest?
That's a great question. I think it could use a little bit of crying obsidian. It's pretty great, but that'll give it the extra spark it needs.
A wise choice indeed. You have risen to the challenge once more, Zozo. You traveled to the oasis to gather some.
Yeah! So I ventured out to the oasis. I was just exploring and minding my own business when I encountered one of the oogly boogly barbarians.
In the name of the bandit warlord, I'm here to destroy you!
I'd prefer it if you didn't. He attacked, but I held my own, and I was able to defeat him. Once the barbarian was taken care of, I was finally able to do what I had came to the oasis to do in the first place, gather some crying obsidian. This will make a great addition to the statue. From day 32 to day 35, I was getting ready to leave the oasis when an anxious-looking serval came scurrying up to me.
Hi, sorry, excuse me, hi, are you Zozo, the one who's been beating up bad guys all over the place? Sorry, that was rude, but are you?
That's me. What's up?
Well, I'm sorry to bother you, but my friend, the Desert Rabbit, he's in danger. A wraith came through here earlier and kidnapped him, but if you're too busy to help, don't worry about it. I don't want to be a bother.
You're not a bother. I'd be happy to help. Let's go and get your friend back.
Oh, thank you. The wraith took him to the space nearby. Follow the path and you'll find it.
From day 36 to day 39, I followed the serval's directions to the wraith's base. I've seen better. My base is way cooler than this one. I guess crime doesn't pay.
Hey, who's the jerk stomping around outside my house and talking smack?
The wraith floated through the door to confront me. Me, I'm the jerk. I mean, I'm not a jerk. You are. Kidnapping is wrong.
Well, that rabbit shouldn't have gotten in my way.
Why don't you just let him go so we can all move on?
What kind of fool do you think I am? I'm holding this loser rabbit for ransom. If the serval pays up, I'll let him go.
That's not fair. He shouldn't have to pay you to see his friend again. That's it. We're gonna settle this with a battle. I drew my sword and got ready to fight. From day 40 to day 43, I started my battle with the kidnapping wraith. Just let the rabbit go, and we don't have to do this.
Never! I'm gonna get rich off of this ransom, and I'm gonna take your head to the bandit warlord and see if he'll pay me for doing him a favor.
No, you won't. You're not doing either of those things. It was a difficult fight, but I was finally able to defeat him. He dropped a key, and I unlocked a door in his base, letting the desert rabbit free. Your friend, the serval, sent me. Are you okay?
That was pretty scary. But I'm not hurt or anything. Nothing a nap, a meal, and a hug from my best friend can't fix.
I led the desert rabbit back to the serval and watched the two best friends have a tearful reunion.
You're okay. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm sorry I couldn't pay the ransom. I'd do anything I could to save you. Thank you for your help, Zozo. Thank you.
From day 44 to day 49, I took all of the crying obsidian I had gathered and brought it back to my base. When I got there, the desert wolf was waiting patiently for me.
Welcome back from your arduous journey, Zozo. I'm glad to see you were successful. I shall take this crying obsidian and incorporate it into the statue at once.
While he was working on the statue, I decided to make some improvements to the base too. Why should he be doing all the work? I can also make this place better. Let's see. I bet a new perimeter wall would help. I spent a while constructing a wall around the perimeter of the base to keep invaders out. When I was finished, I took a step back and admired my hard work. This looks great! Time to check in on that statue. When I reached the statue, the desert wolf had finished adding on the crying obsidian. Wow, it's really coming together! I can't wait to find out what it is! From day 50 to day 53, I was hanging out of my base, enjoying the new improvements, when I suddenly heard a commotion coming from outside. I followed the sound and saw a bunch of barbarians run towards my base. Oh no! In the distance, I could see the bandit warlord hanging back while his oogly boogly boys did the dirty work for him.
How do you like me now? Not very much, I wager.
Come and face me yourself! Don't just hide back there like a coward!
I'm not scared. I just don't feel like walking all the way over there. Yeah, much better to let my oogly boogly boys mess you up instead.
He then talked to one of his minions.
Say, boss, what should we do with this random wolf here?
Oh, let's take him. I haven't had a good hostage in ages, and kidnapping is so much fun. Let's go. Ta-ta, Zozo. I hope you're getting used to losing, cause it's gonna keep happening.
One of the barbarians took the desert wolf away.
Toodaloo.
The bandit warlord disappeared, leaving me with the remaining barbarians. I had no choice but to fight my way through them, so I did. I got my sword and I slashed left and right, knocking down every barbarian until none of those oogly boogly boys were left standing. Whew, that was a tough fight. As I took a second to catch my breath, I felt my hearts increase to 50. I also felt a huge burst of energy. I ran up to a piece of nearby wall and started climbing it. Whoa, I couldn't do that before. From day 54 to day 57, I was feeling excited about my new ability to climb walls. But the excitement didn't last long, since the desert wolf was nowhere to be found. I wish I knew where they took him, or how I can get him back. Before I could figure out a rescue mission though, I needed to fix up my sword. So I did just that. Using an anvil, I quickly repaired my sword. Now, who do I know who has experience with kidnapping and rescuing their friends? Wait a second, I remember someone. To the oasis! I returned to the oasis and tracked down the serval I helped before.
Oh, hi, Zozo. Is something wrong?
Something's very wrong. My friend was kidnapped, and I don't know what to do next.
Oh, geez. Well, you're the hero, not me. I don't know. Who kidnapped them?
The bandit warlord did.
Oh, no. His oogly boogly boys are so strong and scary. But I do know where they might have taken your friend. I bet they're in the Weeping Mire. But you'll need better gear before you go there. I don't want to be rude, but hire won't cut it when you're on the bandit warlord's turf. I'm sorry.
Thanks for the advice. I'd better find some stronger weapons then. From day 58 to day 62, I ventured down into the mine, deeper than I'd ever gone before, and started searching. After a little while, I found some diamonds. Jackpot! I dug up all of the diamonds and was getting ready to carry them back to my base when a huge tarantula suddenly crawled out of the shadows and jumped at me. Ah! Get back! But it didn't get back. It tried to bite me instead. I dodged just in time, climbing up the wall of the cave to get away from the spider. Next, I got my sword and attacked, jumping down from the wall and catching the tarantula by surprise. Gotcha! I was able to defeat the tarantula and escape from the cave without taking any damage. Phew, that was close. Now, time to use these diamonds. I crafted a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. These will be perfect. Time to make a plan. From day 63 to day 66, I took a look at the statue that the desert wolf had been working so hard on. I promise, I'll get you back safe and sound. I will! You'll be able to finish this statue, my friend. I wanted to work on the statue, but it made me too sad to do anything without the desert wolf. I need to be brave, so I can rescue him. No time to get discouraged. I have to remember my mission here, and you have to remember to subscribe to the channel for more Zozo stories and awesome videos. With that, there was no more time to sit around and miss the desert wolf. I had to go and get him back. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to the Weeping Mire in search of the bandit warlord's base. Okay, you creep, where are you hiding, my friend? I used my speedy stealth to sneak around the place, looking for a way in. I spotted an entrance, but it was being guarded by a bunch of barbarians. There are a lot of them, and only one of me, but I've got the spiffy diamond sword on my side, and the determination to save my friend. I think I can do it. I guess the barbarians heard me giving myself a pep talk because one of them turned to look right at me.
Hey, it's that tiger snake abomination! Get 'em, boys, for the glory of the bandit warlord!
Oh, no you don't. I'm not gonna get got. They attacked me, but I was ready for them. With my new diamond sword, taking out those oogly-boogly guards was a cinch. Before too long, they were all beaten, and I was ready to head into the dungeon and rescue the desert wolf. From day 71 to day 74, I ran inside the bandit warlord's base. I was ready to keep running until I reached the dungeon and found my friend, but a brigand was blocking my path. Get out of my way. I've got an important mission.
No, I crush you. Time to fight. Time to lose.
Or maybe it's time for me to win. Ever think about that? The brigand didn't answer. Instead, it attacked me, but it was no match for my diamond sword. I defeated the brigand and continued my journey. As I did, I stumbled upon a chest. Oh, I wonder what's in here. I opened something good. I opened the chest and took a look inside. Whoa, I was right about it being something good. Look at this. It's a full set of diamond armor. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed the armor and put it on. Now no one can stop me from rescuing the desert wolf. I feel so tough and strong and ready to take on whatever threats try to get in my way. The bandit warlord is wrong about a lot of stuff, but he got one thing right. I really am a powerful tiger snake. But unlike him, I use my powers for good. No time to keep making speeches to myself. I've got to get moving. From day 75 to day 78, I finally reached the dungeon, where I could see the desert wolf locked in a cage. Are you okay? Did those creeps hurt you?
Do not worry about me, Zozo. I am unharmed. I thank you for coming to free me from this cage. I was not meant to be confined like this. Look behind you and find the key.
What does that mean? Is it a riddle?
No, Zozo, the key to my cell is behind you. Turn around and look. It is right there.
Oh, got it. I turned around and sure enough, there was the key. I picked it up and unlocked the cell. There, now you're free.
I am forever in your debt, Zozo.
Oh, there's no need for all that. You're my friend. I'm just glad you're safe.
I must flee this place before they notice I am gone. I trust you will be right behind me.
I'll be right there. Go on ahead. I'll meet you back at the base. Back home. I watched the desert wolf gracefully lope out of the dungeon, and I was about to follow him when the bandit warlord emerged from the shadows.
Hello, Zozo. Fancy meeting you here. Just kidding. I knew you'd come here. It's a trap, isn't it? Oh, you saved your little friend. How nice. But who's gonna save you, eh? No one. And you're in my house now, mate.
Yeah, maybe you should hire a decorator. Your house is pretty gross.
How dare you! My mum decorated this lair, and she has impeccable taste. Just for that, I'll chop you into little bits, I will.
I climbed the wall while he was yammering on and was able to surprise him by jumping down onto him, my sword ready.
Hey, that's no fair.
You kidnapped my friend. Seems pretty fair to me. This time, our strength was better matched. I could actually fight him and do some real damage. And he could tell I could see he was getting shaken up. I was about to attack again when he knocked me back into a wall with a sudden hit. While I was recovering, he ran away, disappearing down the hall.
I'm not running away. I just left the oven on and my pies are burning. I'm very brave.
I didn't believe him, but I decided to take that moment to get out of there and make my way back to my base. From day 79 to day 84, the bandit warlord paced back and forth in his lair deep in the weeping mire.
I can't let myself lose to a tiger snake. What even is that? A reptile? A cat? Can't be both. But somehow, it is. Horrible, just horrible. I have to get stronger, bigger, badder. I know. I have this potion of strength that Mummy gave me for my birthday. I promised to save it for a rainy day. And well, it looks pretty rainy to me.
He grabbed the potion of strength and quickly drank the whole thing. Immediately, he began to grow bigger and stronger, letting the potion's power course through him.
Oh, just you wait, Zozo. Next time, I won't have to run away. Tend to some burning pies in the oven. Next time, it will be a fight to the death. Your death, not mine.
From day 85 to day 89, I made it back to my base. I can't believe that bandit warlord keeps running away from our fights. What a dweeb. I needed to get out of there though, so I could come check on things back here. Desert Wolf, did you make it back?
Yes, Zozo, I am here. And I have something wonderful to show you. The statue is finally complete. I hope that it will inspire you to achieve your goals and complete your hero's journey.
I walked over to where he had been building the statue, and my jaw dropped. It was a tiger's face. Wow, it's amazing.
I find this symbol to be deeply meaningful, not just because of your tiger-like nature, but because of what it represents. It is the thrill of the fight. It is the ability to rise up to the challenge of a rival. It is the survivor watching his ultimate goal with the eye of the tiger.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. If only I could be sure how to finally defeat the bandit warlord when he keeps running away.
Simple. Do not let him run away next time. Be brave, be true, stand and fight, even as he tries to flee. Only then will you at last be victorious. Also, I believe that there is a potion of power hidden in the oasis. Drink of it, and it will prepare you for the final battle.
From day 90 to day 94, I listened to the Desert Wolf's advice and returned to the oasis. When I got there, I saw a barbarian had gotten there first.
The boss will be thrilled I found this potion of power for him. All I need to do is open this chest.
Hey, wait a second. I need that potion.
And find its keepers.
How about I fight you for it?
Heh, sure, I could use a good victory.
He was pretty confident, but he shouldn't have been. With my diamond sword and my new set of armor, I was much stronger than I had ever been before. I beat you oogly boogly boys without all this new gear and training. It'll be a piece of cake now. I was right, too. It was a quick fight, and like a piece of cake, winning was pretty sweet. With the barbarian out of my way, I opened the chest and found the potion of power inside. Great! I'll hold on to this until I absolutely need it. From day 95 to day 97, I traveled back to my base, feeling more and more confident with each passing day. I'm starting to think I could really do this. The Desert Wolf was right. I'm going to complete my hero's journey and defeat the bandit warlord. I feel like I'm watching him with the eye of the tiger right now. While I was thinking about that, the serval came to visit me.
Hi, excuse me, is Zozo home? Sorry to bother you.
Hi, I'm here. Not a bother at all. What's up? The serval approached me.
Well, I heard you were getting ready for a really big fight, and I found something I thought might help you. Not that you need any help. I'm sure you're very capable, totally on your own. But I thought you should have this, in case you want it. If you do.
He handed me a full set of netherite armor. This is the most amazing armor I've ever seen. Thank you so much. What an incredible gift.
You're sure? You really like it? I kept the receipt. You can totally exchange it if you want to.
Oh, it's perfect. I'll wear this when I head into battle. With it on, I'll be protected from whatever the bandit warlord throws at me.
Good luck, Zozo. Not that you need luck. Geez, I'm sorry. I put my paw in my mouth again. I'm so rude. What I'm trying to say is, I believe in you.
Message received, my friend. Message received. On day 98, I spent my time preparing for my final confrontation with the bandit warlord. I tried on my new netherite armor, practiced with my sword and bow, climbed walls, and practiced being quick and stealthy, just like a tiger in the wild. I'm feeling really prepared. I think it's now or never, and I'd rather it be now. I've learned a lot about being a tiger snake, and I think the only thing left to do is make sure to search for Zozo videos by typing ZOZO and leave a comment about who you want to see next. And defeat the big bad, of course. On day 99, I said goodbye to the Desert Wolf, took one more look at the tiger-faced statue, and traveled back to the bandit warlord's lair in the Weeping Mire. Okay, I was waiting for the right moment, and I think this is it. I grabbed the potion of power and drank it. Immediately, I felt it starting to work. I grew bigger and stronger. My heart's increased to 100. I feel awesome. I feel powerful. I feel like a tiger and snake combined. I shouted with excitement, and a blast of fire came out of my mouth. And I've got fire breath too. What am I waiting for? Let's go. With all the confidence of a big, strong tiger snake, I strode into the base until I finally found the bandit warlord.
Hello, Zozo. You might notice I look a tad different. I had a potion, and it's gone and made me big. Wait a minute, you're bigger too. No fair. That's no fair. What's that? Me mum's calling me. I've got to go. No time to fight right now.
You're lying. I won't let you run away from another fight with me. You've done too many terrible things. We're finishing this now.
Okay, just let me... Ha! I tricked you.
Just like that, he rushed at me and attacked. He caught me by surprise, but my new armor protected me from damage and gave me time to blast him with my fire breath. He definitely wasn't expecting that. After the fire breath, he was dazed and confused, and definitely wasn't ready for my next move when I attacked with my sword. You tried to scare me, but you were just a bully, a cowardly bully. You always were. Well, you're not gonna bully anyone anymore. And with that, I struck a final blow, and the bandit warlord fell! On day 100, I arrived back home at my base, victorious and happy. I did it! I finally did it!
Wonderful news! Tell me, how does it feel to be a hero?
It feels awesome!
And what will your next quest be?
I don't know, but right now, I want to kick back and relax with my friends for a little while. Can we do that?
We certainly can. Heroics are all well and good, but there is nothing more important than taking the time to rest after a job well done.
On day 1, I spawned into a small village next to the bayou as myself. I'm just a little baby Zozo. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Something has got to be going on here. I turned and looked at the village around me, trying to spot if anything was out of the ordinary. Nope, there was just a handful of villagers walking around, minding their own business. It's quiet. Too quiet. I don't trust this one bit. And my suspicions were confirmed when I saw a strange shape wandering into the village. It was a Warden Enderman. I'd never seen one before, so I decided to go and talk to him. Hey, Mr. Warden Enderman, I'm Zozo. Are you okay? You're not looking too good.
Sick. I feel sick. Help me.
I'm not sure I'm the right person for that. Maybe you should see a doctor or something?
Help me.
The Warden Enderman stepped forward and touched one of the villagers. Poof! He was immediately transformed into a vicious warden! What? How is that even possible? Suddenly, all of the villagers in the small village started transforming into wardens. It was like there was some kind of warden virus spreading. I need to get out of here. I ran out of the village as fast as I could before any of the wardens had a chance to sonic boom me. Whatever was going on, I needed to stop it, quickly. On day 2, I carried on running out of the village until I was deep in the bayou. It's like I'm trapped in some kind of horror movie. And with only 5 hearts, too. At least I'm safe out here. I can't see any wardens anywhere. But I spoke too soon. It seemed that as soon as I said something out loud, wardens started to surround me. Oh no, it looks like every mob is a warden here. With 5 hearts and no weapons, I knew that I didn't stand a chance against these monsters. I needed to get out of there, so I ran further into the bayou as fast as I could until I couldn't see the wardens behind me. Oh gosh, they could be anywhere. This is so spooky. Another figure came towards me out of the dark. For a second, I panicked until I saw with relief that it was a crimson wizard, not a warden.
Are you infected?
What?
We haven't much time. Did Patient Zero touch you? Are you infected, boy?
Patient Zero? Is that the long, lanky guy who can turn people into wardens by touching them?
Yes, that's him. Good. You're not infected then, but you won't be safe here for long. Follow me if you want to stay human.
That was an offer I couldn't turn down. I followed the Crimson Wizard deeper into the bayou, hopefully away from all the wardens chasing us. On day 3, the Crimson Wizard led me to a hideout in the bayou where he said a friend of his was living.
This is the Wood Villager's domain. He's a good man and a valuable ally in these times, but he's not very trusting.
When we arrived, we stopped outside the hideout, and the Wood Villager came out to meet us.
Crimson, this new guy, is he infected? Because if he's infected, I don't want him or you anywhere near this place.
Don't worry, Wood. He's clean. If he'd had any contact with Patient Zero, he would have been turned already.
Good. All healthy. Let's keep it that way. What's your name, kid?
I'm Zozo. Could you please explain to me what's going on here?
Simple. The event I've been predicting for years. The Warden Apocalypse. If we don't stay safe, everyone in the world could be turned into wardens, and those left will be destroyed by them.
But why? What's causing this?
We're not quite sure. We know it's infectious, and we know the Warden Enderman we call Patient Zero is part of it, but otherwise, we haven't a clue. But if we could find out what's causing the Warden Apocalypse, we might be able to stop it.
Then I guess that's exactly what we've got to do. Come with me, Crimson Wizard. Together, we're gonna figure out the secrets of the Warden Apocalypse and stop it all together. But first, let's get out of this bayou. It's giving me the creeps. We had our mission. The Crimson Wizard followed me out of the bayou. Together, we needed to solve the mystery and save the world. From day 4 to day 5, the Crimson Wizard and I headed out to the Borealis Grove, which seemed like a nicer place with fewer wardens, where we could build a really cool base. But before we can build an awesome warden defense base, we need some tools. I punched down some trees and turned the wood blocks into wood planks so I could make a crafting table. I then used my crafting table and my spare wood to build my first wooden pickaxe. And we all know there's only one thing that a wooden pickaxe is good for: building a stone pickaxe. I mined some stone and crafted a full set of stone tools and even a stone sword. That's when the Crimson Wizard approached me.
Here, Zozo, take some of these strings. You should really use these and some sticks to build a bow. We don't know how infectious the Warden virus is, so you should only take Wardens on at long range.
Great advice, Crimson Wizard. Thank you. I crafted myself a handy bow and then started to work on my base. It was basic at first, just a room for me and a room for the Crimson Wizard. But I also decided to build a furnace next to the base to make some smelting easier later. Once it was done, me and the Crimson Wizard admired all my hard work.
It's a good start, Zozo. We just need to keep developing it from here.
But the day wasn't all building and fun. Before the sun went down, a couple of wardens came towards the base out of the nearby trees. Lucky I've got my trusty bow. Take that! I used my bow to take out the 2 wardens without the risk of infection. What a relief! And defeating them gave me the XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, and now having 10 hearts. My chances of survival just went up. From day 6 to day 8, with a basic base built and a basic set of weapons and tools crafted, I decided to venture out into another biome, the Black Forest, to look for clues behind what was causing the Warden Apocalypse. Jeez, this forest is creepy enough without having to worry about the Warden virus. That's when I saw a forest guardian being hassled by a pair of wardens. They looked like they might be about to hit him with their sonic boom power, and I definitely couldn't let that happen. Get away from him, wardens! I pulled out my bow and shot at the wardens until they were defeated. Then I went in to check if the Forest Guardian was okay. Are you okay, Forest Guardian?
Yes, I am, thanks to you. It was horrible. Those creatures were my friends once, before they turned into wardens. Something nightmarish is happening in the overworld.
The Warden Apocalypse! I'm trying to stop it. Is there anything you could tell me that might help me get to the bottom of this?
Yes, perhaps, but there's an even worse infection further into my beloved forest. Come help me with that, then I'll tell you everything I know.
From day 9 to day 10, the Forest Guardian and I went deeper into the Black Forest until we found a grove positively full of deadly wardens. Wow, this is a real infestation. I better take them out quick before it gets even worse. But of course, taking out the wardens was a lot easier said than done, especially because there were just so many of them. The second I fired an arrow at one of them, all the others were immediately alerted. They turned and started coming towards me. One of them even fired a sonic boom, staggering me and knocking off a few of my hearts. It was clear I wasn't strong or skilled enough to fight them yet, and I definitely didn't want them to touch me, so I really needed to get out of there. I ran off, leaving the wardens behind. Once they'd finally stopped chasing me, I ran into the Forest Guardian again. I'm so sorry, Forest Guardian. There were just too many of them. I couldn't do it.
It's okay, Zozo. You tried your best. I'm just glad you weren't infected.
I promise, we'll come back and solve this. We'll solve everything. Want to come back with me to my base in the meantime? There's safety in numbers.
Good idea, Zozo. Lead the way.
From day 11 to day 12, I brought the Forest Guardian back to my base and built a new room for him. I filled it with plenty of plants just to make sure he wasn't homesick.
Thank you, Zozo. This is an excellent room, and including the plants was very thoughtful.
No problem, Forest Guardian. Now, could you tell me everything you know about the Warden Apocalypse? It might hold the key to stopping this whole thing.
Well, I don't know much, but one day this strange, tall creature came wandering through the forest in the middle of the night. I'd never seen anything like it.
But I know the day after it happened, that's when so many of the forest dwellers started turning into wardens. This sounds just like Patient Zero, so he really is behind all of this. Knowing what I did now, I continued working to improve my base and my tools. I mined in the Borealis Grove until I found a vein of iron ore. I took it back to my base and used my furnace and crafting table to smelt and craft it into a full set of iron tools. Now I need to make sure my other supplies are sustainable. I created a paddock on the grounds of my base and herded some sheep into it. After all, you can never be too careful during the Warden Apocalypse. From day 13 to day 15, I approached the Crimson Wizard, who seemed to be the overworld's biggest expert on the Warden Apocalypse. Crimson, I need your advice. I want to gather more information on the Warden Apocalypse, but I don't know where to start.
Perhaps go to the lush red desert. There, we can see how these infected wardens react to different environments. If we're lucky, we might be able to find some kind of weakness we can use.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way to the lush red desert to find out more. And both luckily and unluckily for me, it looked like it was crawling with wardens. Guess I at least won't be hurting for research subjects. But what I discovered through my research didn't make me feel any better. The infected wardens seemed just as powerful and dangerous in the desert as they did in the bayou or the forest. Stopping the Warden Apocalypse is gonna be a lot harder than I thought. When a few of them attacked me, I was at least able to take them out with my bow, and they dropped a few useful items, some shark tooth arrows for my bow, and a health potion. You can never have enough health. Bottoms up! The potion was a huge help. I went from 10 to 30 hearts immediately. Finally, some good news today. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my search for some useful items or information. That's what led me down into a dark, spooky underground cave. Thankfully, back at my base, I'd made plenty of torches to place along the walls and mark my way. This should shed some light on the situation. I'm glad nobody was down here to hear that. I didn't find any useful crafting items down there, but I did find something strange and interesting all the same. An old book marked Warden Laboratory Research Notes. Most of the pages had been ruined, but one of the ones that hadn't been read. The virus is progressing even faster than we'd initially imagined. Perhaps too fast. I thought it might be the perfect weapon, but it infects and transforms its victims so quickly. It might be too difficult to control. Are we unlocking something truly terrible here? Wait, so people might have actually made the Warden virus? My reading time was interrupted by another warden wandering into the cave. He tried to blast me with his sonic boom, but this time I was able to dodge and fire back with my bow. He went down in one shot, and I was safe once more. I'm becoming quite the Warden Slayer. From day 20 to day 22, I wanted to test out the strength of my new warden slaying skills some more. I'd noticed that the wardens liked waiting in old or abandoned places, so I found my way to an old abandoned house and searched inside. Sure enough, some wardens were waiting for me, and I easily defeated them with my bow. There may be some hope of stopping the Warden Apocalypse after all. I also found some iron ingots in a chest inside the abandoned house and decided I'd make use of them. I went back to my base and used my crafting table to create a set of iron armor. That should hopefully have made the Warden's sonic booms pack less of a deadly punch. What's a good offense without some good defense after all? The Forest Guardian came out of the house and gave me a few apples he gathered while I was away. He thought I would be starving after my long journey in the desert. Feeling so much stronger and more confident than before, I journeyed deep into the Black Forest once again, until I found the area infested by all those wardens. This time, I'm not running away! Using my superb bow skills, I took out every single one of the wardens and cleared the forest! The Forest Guardian is gonna be so happy when I tell him! I was journeying back to my base through the Borealis Grove when I heard a familiar, creepy voice and saw a familiar, tall, dark shape. It was Patient Zero!
Please, help me. The experiments, my creation.
I was curious about what he said about the so-called experiments, but I was also scared out of my mind. I ran away as fast as I could, and I just hoped Patient Zero wouldn't be following me. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base, still feeling a little worried that Patient Zero might be on my tail. I waited outside the base for a few hours with my bow at the ready. I was just lucky that he never showed up. That's one problem I wouldn't have to deal with until later. But I still had some good news to give. I ran over to the Forest Guardian, who was sitting outside and enjoying nature. Forest Guardian, I have great news! I went back to the Black Forest and drove out the warden infestation. It should be safe for you to return now.
That is great news, Zozo. Thank you for all that you've done. I shall return to the forest now. I wish you luck in bringing the warden apocalypse to an end. Here is a reward for your help.
He threw me an anvil and a flame 1 enchantment, and with that, the Forest Guardian left. Already, something else was on my mind. I got lucky that Patient Zero didn't follow me back this time. What if next time I wasn't so lucky? I really need to build some new base defenses and equipment upgrades. First, I upgraded my bow. I placed the anvil at my base, and with the help of the enchanted book Flame 1, I was able to enchant my bow to fire flaming arrows. This will really make it pack a punch. Then, I built a strong defensive wall around my base. You can't have a warden-slaying fortress if wardens can just waltz right in at any time they like. After the wall was done, I stood back and took in how far my base had come. I might just be able to save the world. From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was time to have a change of scenery and explore further for more clues about the origin of the warden virus. That's why I went to the White Beach. I think I'm onto something, and all this talk of secret labs and experiments, but I'm still missing important information. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into a small gang of villagers on the run through the beach. They looked worried and frightened. Hey, are you guys okay?
Far from it. An army of wardens attacked our village. Almost everyone was wiped out or changed. And now we have nowhere to live.
You're in luck. Well, aside from the whole village destruction thing, of course. You can head back to my base in the Borealis Grove. I'll keep you safe there while I figure out how to stop the warden apocalypse. While the villagers headed back to my base, I decided I'd collect a few blocks of sand for a construction project I was working on. When I returned to my base, I added more rooms for the villagers to sleep in. I also used my furnace to turn the sand into glass so I could give my base some windows. Perfect for keeping an eye out for the warden hordes out there. Just as I was standing back and appreciating my hard work, the Crimson Wizard ran towards me in a panic.
Zozo, there's trouble going down in the bayou. Big trouble. I need your help.
From day 32 to day 35, the Crimson Wizard and I ran back to the Wood Villagers' hideout in the bayou. Crimson was right about him being in trouble, because by the time we had made it to the hideout, it was already overrun with wardens. We'll come save you, Woody!
No, don't be reckless. It's already too late for me. Get out of here and save yourselves.
I didn't want to believe it was true. I pulled out my new fire-enchanted bow and shot flaming arrow after flaming arrow into the wardens until none were left standing. Then I ran in to see how the wood villager was doing.
Stop right there.
But why? I saved you.
No, you don't understand. I'm infected, Zozo. I'm sorry, but like I told you, it's already too late for me.
Poof! The wood villager turned into a warden and fired a sonic boom at me. It was hard, but I had no choice. I fired a flaming arrow at the warden that had once been the wood villager, and he was no more. From day 36 to day 39, I needed to get away from the bayou and from the Borealis Grove. I was still so shaken up after what happened to the wood villager. I just couldn't stand it. That's why I went to the tropical rainforest, wandering around and feeling the sunshine and thick tropical air washing all my troubles away. That's when I ran into the illager from the faraway lands, a mysterious stranger walking through the rainforest. Hey, Mr. Illager! I was taking kind of a vacation day out here, but since you're around, would you happen to know anything about the warden apocalypse?
Oh, I know a lot about the warden apocalypse. A lot. But I won't give you that information for free. It comes at a price.
Name it.
There are some more of those blasted wardens near here. They chased me out of my favorite part of the rainforest. Go destroy them, and we'll talk.
Deal. Following the illager's instructions, I searched around the nearby forest until I happened upon a group of wardens wandering around, searching for fresh victims. It didn't take long for me to take them all out with my bow and flaming arrows. Then I made my way back to the illager, eager to find out more about what I was really facing out here. Tell me everything you know about the one they call Patient Zero, the Warden Enderman. He's the one who caused all this. I need to understand him.
He wasn't always a monster. Well, not in the literal sense anyway. He was a scientist once, and quite a brilliant one at that.
But as time went on, his experiments got stranger and stranger. And then, when people started refusing to work with him, he started doing experiments on himself. I imagine one day he went too far and became the patient zero you know today. So, he was normal once. Interesting. Maybe, deep down, there's something in there I can still reason with. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to my base, turning over all the new information I'd learned in my mind. I also missed having the forest guardian around, so I decided, as a tribute to him, to add a bunch more plants and flowers to my base. It really brightened the place up and helped remind me about what I was fighting for. After I'd put in all these new beautiful natural decorations, I was approached by some of the villagers I'd sent back to my base earlier. They needed another favor.
Zozo, we've heard from some friends and family members from other villages who have been chased out by the wardens too. They need a place to stay. Can they come join us here?
Of course! Tell them to come over. I'll make room for them all. As the new villagers flooded in, I built barracks with bunk beds to hold them all. It made me feel safe to know how many people would be here at the base with us, and the villagers seemed happy with the new arrangement too.
We couldn't be more grateful, Zozo. You're genuinely saving lives here.
Please, all in a day's work.
Though we were wondering if we could ask you for one more favor. We're a little worried about what happened to a village a ways north of here. We have family and friends there. Would you be able to go and check it out?
Of course, if it puts your minds at ease and potentially lets me help more people, it's more than worth the trip. But when I made that agreement, I had no idea just how bad things would get. From day 44 to day 49, I followed the instructions given to me by the villagers at my base and traveled all the way to a village on the other side of the Borealis Grove. Hello? Anyone there? Gosh, this place is giving me the creeps! I walked through the village and found that nobody seemed to be there. There were a few little abandoned houses and one bigger house that I assume maybe belonged to the village mayor. But now, there was nobody here. Well, almost nobody. Suddenly, the last person I wanted to see, Patient Zero, came wandering out from between the houses.
Must keep going. Have to keep spreading it. The beautiful sickness.
Wait, I know who you really are. Kinda. I know you used to be a scientist. Can't we just be reasonable and talk all this out? There's got to be some of you still in there.
Maybe once, but not now. Sorry, can't control myself anymore. My creation has the will. The Warden Apocalypse cannot be stopped.
And with that, Patient Zero wandered off. But as soon as he was gone, a gang of wardens that must have once been the villagers, started surrounding me. Too many for me to just stand and shoot. I need to get out of here before I get infected. From day 50 to day 53, I ran to the only place I could to buy me some time from the advancing army of wardens, into the large house. I ran in and closed the door behind me, quickly running up to the top floor. I knew I couldn't escape them from there, but at least it would give me some time to plan. I hid inside what must have been the house's master bedroom, but while I was there, I couldn't help but notice that there was a bookmarked diary. Normally, it's extremely rude to read someone's diary, but since this person was probably transformed into a warden, I figured it was okay. And I'm glad I did, because it read, "Curses! I should have never agreed to work with that awful scientist. All the men I lost getting him those skulk shriekers from the deep dark for his experiments. I betrayed my people for nothing." But I couldn't read for long. Suddenly, the wardens burst in, and I pulled out my bow. Firing as quickly as I could, I managed to defeat them all. Now it was time to get out of the village before any more could show up. From day 54 to day 57, I left the abandoned house and found that the ship had already sailed on stopping more from showing up. There were a whole bunch of wardens outside, waiting for me, ready to attack. I was just very lucky that I still had plenty of arrows, or my goose would have been cooked. Time to send these wardens back to the deep dark. I fired and fired until there were no wardens left. One of them even dropped something, a dagger. Maybe he was trying to use it to defeat Patient Zero, but he got infected in the process. I won't make that same mistake. I grabbed the dagger and ran back to my base as fast as I could. The Crimson Wizard was waiting for me. Crimson, I think I have some valuable information.
Patient Zero used to be a scientist, and I found out from an old diary that his Warden virus experiments involved using skulk shriekers.
Skulk Shriekers, of course! Zozo, this is a game changer. If you can get me some Skulk Shriekers from the deep dark, I might be able to manufacture a vaccine.
Vaccine? What's that?
It's a special chemical compound made from a weak or dead version of the virus, which allows the body's immune system, that's the part of your body that fights off diseases, to recognize and better fight it off. If we can create a proper vaccine for the Warden virus using the Skulk Shriekers, we can make everyone immune.
That sounds like an amazing idea, Crimson! We might finally turn the Warden apocalypse around! From day 58 to day 62, I prepared to undertake this new part of the mission, obtaining the Skulk Shriekers to make the Warden virus vaccine. But first, I needed to upgrade my gear in my base in case of a potential counterattack. First, I expanded my paddock and included even more sheep, just to make sure we had spares if the Warden virus somehow started spreading among sheep too. And if I have trouble getting to sleep at night, I can always come out here and count them. Then, I traveled to a nearby diamond mine that one of the villagers told me about and started mining precious diamonds. Diamonds are a Warden Slayer's best friend. Once I'd obtained them, I returned to my base and forged a full set of diamond armor, along with some cool diamond tools and weapons. I was better defended than ever before. Time to find some Skulk Shriekers! From day 63 to day 66, I went to the Crimson Wizard in my full diamond armor and asked for some instructions.
I recommend you head to the Shattered Glacier, Zozo. It's one of the few places I know of in the overworld that has a safe tunnel leading to the deep dark. That's your best bet at finding Skulk Shriekers.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way over to the Shattered Glacier. Lucky for me, there didn't seem to be many wardens around, just lots and lots of ice. Yeesh, I should have brought a warmer jacket. It's totally freezing out here. Soon enough, I came upon a fortress guarded by a huge ice Vile Ogre. He looked tough and dangerous, so I immediately started worrying that he'd want to fight.
Who goes there? I'm the guardian of this place.
And what exactly is this place?
The tunnel to the deep dark. But I'm not letting anyone in. There's been a dangerous Warden infestation in there, and I can't let civilians wander in willy-nilly.
But I'm not just any civilian. I'm a professional Warden Slayer, and I'm searching for the Skulk Shriekers that'll help my friend, the Crimson Wizard, create a vaccine for the Warden virus.
You're a Warden Slayer, huh? Prove it. There are some Wardens just west of here. Take care of them, and I'll let you into the deep dark.
Deal. From day 67 to day 70, I did what the Ice Vile Ogre Guardian told me to do, and went off in search of the local Warden infestation. These creatures are so hardy, they can seemingly survive in any biome. This is why I really need those Skulk Shriekers. Eventually, I found a small swarm of Wardens. Lucky for me, I was able to get the element of surprise on them. I pulled out my enchanted bow and took them all out, one by one. But with all my confidence, I didn't expect one of them to have snuck up on me from behind. It hit me with a sonic boom, stunning me and then starting to get closer. If it touched me, I might have gotten infected. So I picked myself back up and ran away as fast as I could. When I'd made some decent distance, I turned around and shot it with my bow, finally finishing off this Warden infestation. With that taken care of, I returned to the Ice Vile Ogre at the compound.
You have proven yourself. I'll let you go down to the deep dark. Just be careful down there. Your luck can change in an instant.
He stepped aside, revealing a dark, deep hole into the ground with a ladder. From day 71 to day 74, I climbed down into the deep dark. Just like the name said, it was really deep and really dark, and it took me forever to climb down there. When I reached the bottom, I realized that the Ice Vile Ogre's warning was completely true. There were several Wardens at the bottom, waiting for me. I needed to pull out my enchanted bow and shoot at them to scare them away. Maybe the Crimson Wizard should have sent somebody else to do this. After I'd defeated and scared off some of the Wardens, I searched deeper into the deep dark. It was certainly spooky down there. Luckily, I eventually found some Skulk Shriekers and used my diamond pickaxe to harvest them. Hopefully this will be enough for the Crimson Wizard to start producing the vaccine. I was heading back to the ladder when suddenly a familiar figure wandered out of the darkness towards me. It was him, Patient Zero!
What are you doing here? I'm trying to collect more samples. for my research. Are you a thief, little one?
In a panic, I pulled out my bow and tried shooting him, but it didn't have any effect. And I didn't want to get any closer in case I got infected. I ran around him as fast as I could and started climbing the ladder back up to the surface. I still wasn't ready to face him just yet. From day 75 to day 78, I returned back to my base, shaken by my encounter with Patient Zero, but still feeling proud of myself for getting the Skulk Shriekers. Of course, I immediately gave them over to the Crimson Wizard.
This is amazing, Zozo. Give me a day or so and I'll see what I can whip up.
While the Crimson Wizard was working away on the vaccine for the Warden virus, I decided to make some base improvements, like making the wall taller so I could have better defenses against Warden attacks. By the time all my construction projects were done, the Crimson Wizard had something for me.
I think I've done it, Zozo. I think I've created a Warden virus vaccine potion. But I need to be able to test it before we give it to people.
It's okay, Crimson. You can test it on me.
Are you sure, Zozo? It's still experimental.
If it helps save the world, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I drank the Warden virus vaccine, and the change was immediate. Not only was I now immune to the virus, I was bigger, stronger, and had 60 hearts.
These results are incredible, Zozo. We must share it with the world. Here, take as many Warden virus vaccines as you can carry. Give them to as many friendly people as you can. Together, we'll stop the Warden apocalypse once and for all.
From day 79 to day 84, I decided I'd take advantage of my new immunity and roam the Badlands, taking on any Warden that I saw. It felt great to finally be on top of things and know that the end of the Warden apocalypse may finally be in sight. During my exciting Warden-slaying adventures, I came across an old hunter also wandering the Badlands. Mr. Hunter, my friend created a Warden virus vaccine. If you and everyone you know takes these, you can avoid getting infected. Please, take a bunch.
This is incredible! What do you want in return, kind sir?
Nothing. The more people have these, the safer we're all going to be.
Then please, as a token of my gratitude, at least take this crossbow. I've used it on many a Warden myself. Believe me, it packs a mean punch.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. I'll use it well. From day 85 to day 89, after giving Warden virus vaccine potions to as many people as I could, I came back to my base to stock up again, only to find that it was being attacked by another gang of infected Wardens. This wasn't supposed to happen. Using my new crossbow, I started shooting at the Wardens, taking out a few of them and scaring the rest away. But I couldn't just let them escape. If they did, they might infect more people. I immediately turned and started running after them as fast as I could. But on the way through the Borealis Grove, I saw an innocent Vile Ogre being surrounded by another group of Wardens. I wasn't about to let him get infected too, so I ran in, crossbow blazing. Thankfully, I was able to take out all those Wardens before they could infect the Vile Ogre with the Warden virus. I gave him one of the vaccine potions too, just to be safe.
You won't regret this, Zozo. Someday, I will repay this kindness. You have my word.
From day 90 to day 94, I continued my chase after the Wardens deep into the Borealis forest. Little did I know, these infected Wardens had set up a trap for me. I reached a clearing and used my crossbow to take out a few of the Wardens, only to find that there were way more waiting for me, coming at me from every angle. For a second, I thought I was doomed. Then I remembered the most important thing. I'd taken the vaccine. I was immune. Remembering this, I pulled out my diamond sword and decided to take on the Wardens directly. Let's do this. I'm canceling the Warden apocalypse. From day 95 to day 97, I kept fighting, using my diamond sword to mow through the Warden army like a dad's lawnmower through grass. Soon enough, I defeated every single one of them, and all that was left on the floor was a single book. I picked it up, and just like the damaged book I'd found so long ago, it was titled Warden Laboratory Research Notes. One of these Wardens must have been another scientist at the lab. I leafed through the pages. One part read, "Things are getting out of hand. There have been way too many incidents lately. The lead researcher is getting reckless as his obsession with the Warden virus grows. I fear that if we don't get control of this soon, the Warden virus might leak out into the Zelkova forest and maybe even beyond." The Zelkova forest! That must be where the lab is! I can go down there and finish all of this once and for all! On day 98, I returned to my base to tell the Crimson Wizard and the leader of the villagers the good news. I gathered them together to share. Guys, I think I finally have what it takes to finish the Warden Apocalypse and save the world. I found out that the lab where the Warden virus started is in the Zelkova forest. I'm gonna defeat Patient Zero and destroy the entire lab, so this never happens again.
I wish you luck, Zozo, but I don't think you'll need it. You've become the greatest Warden Slayer the world has ever known. I'll continue sharing the Warden virus vaccine while you're gone to help the world become immune.
Thank you, Crimson Wizard. I never could have done any of this without you. Then the leader of the villagers gave me a gift. If you can call 64 blocks of TNT a gift.
Hey, if you want to destroy the whole lab, you're gonna need some serious explosive power.
Thanks, villager. Just, why do you have this?
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to, kid.
And with that, I was ready to go and save the world from the Warden virus. On day 99, I traveled all the way to the Zelkova forest, hoping to find the lab and destroy the evil of the Warden virus. On the way there, I ran into the King Pig and decided to give him some of the Warden virus vaccines for his pig kingdom.
Thank you, Zozo. You can do this. I believe in you.
After searching a little longer, I found the lab. It was abandoned and crawling with wardens around the outside. Even if they couldn't infect me, there was no way I could take them all out and still defeat Patient Zero afterwards. But then, just as I needed him most, the vile ogre I saved earlier ran in, ready to fight.
I told you I'd repay your kindness someday, Zozo, and that day is today. You go in there and take down the big boss. I'll take care of these warning creeps for you.
On day 100, I entered the abandoned laboratory, which was somehow even creepier than the deep dark. I wandered through the halls, encountering warden after warden and taking them down with my crossbow. It was why the only way to end this was to defeat Patient Zero and destroy the lab altogether. Eventually, in the largest room of the lab, I found him waiting for me. It's time for this to end, Patient Zero. The Warden Apocalypse is over.
Fool! You have no idea what you're dealing with. The Warden Apocalypse is just beginning. On a long enough timeline, the virus will mutate, becoming bigger and stronger until nobody can stop it.
That's why I need to stop you right now. He hit me and was astonished to see that I didn't transform into a warden.
No, this is impossible. How could you be immune to my beautiful virus?
We took the vaccine. It's over, Patient Zero. There's only one cure for you. I pulled out my dagger and destroyed Patient Zero in one shot. All that was left to do was destroy the lab itself, so nobody could ever find his work. I went back outside and put TNT all around the lab, completely surrounding it with the explosive blocks. Afterwards, I stood back and fired a single flaming arrow. Boom! The lab was completely destroyed, and the Warden Apocalypse was truly over. On day 1, I spawned in as a baby goat. Oh, I'm a tiny little goat. And ooh, look how high I can jump. Let's see how fast I can climb this hill. I hopped on over, and that's when I realized I could climb the sides of the hills too. Oh yeah, look at me go. I was feeling pretty good about myself, hip-hopping around, when I was suddenly attacked by a raptor. A dinosaur? What century is this? I didn't have time to worry about that though, because I only had 4 hearts. The problem was, I had nowhere to run. That's when I noticed I had some sort of special ability. Headbutt. All right, I'll give it a try. I swung my head and sent the raptor flying straight off the cliff. Sayonara! I headed down the hill. What was a dinosaur doing around here? Suddenly there was a rustling up ahead, and a whole pack of raptors were coming right at me. More of them? I don't think I can take on a whole pack. They were closing in fast, so I jumped up the side of the hill and started to climb. They couldn't follow me straight up the side of a cliff. Better luck next time, boys. The raptor snarled at me and left. I kept watch for the rest of the day. Who knew if those raptors would attack again? On day 2, I headed down off the cliff. I had to be careful, just in case there were any dinosaurs lurking around. Just then, I heard a cry out in the distance. Help! I rushed off toward the sound and saw a little baby goat getting attacked by a couple of foxes. Hang on, buddy. I charged at the foxes with my head, knocking them back. No one was going to be picking on any goats today. They weren't very tough, and I was able to knock them both out.
That was a close one.
No problem. What's your name?
You can call me Billy.
That makes sense. Come on, Billy. I know a spot that's safe from all the meanies out here. Billy and I headed back over to my little cave, climbing up the mountain. This will be a safe place for us to stay for the night, but I think we can make it a little nicer. I ran outside and cut down some wood, then used it to make a crafting table. Then I used the crafting table
able to make a wooden axe. Now I can get all the wood I need. After I'd collected all the wood I needed, I started clearing out the cave, filling it with a nice wood floor. Then I added all the things Billy and I would need for a good starter base. Hopefully nothing would attack us in the night. On day 3, Billy and I had decided we would look for supplies, but first, I needed to make some stone tools. Using my crafting table, I made all the tools we could possibly need. Hopefully we could find a good food source. All right, Billy, let's get out there and see what we can find. While we were looking for any resources that might help, we were mostly hoping to find food because we knew we would be getting hungry sooner rather than later. Luckily for us, we soon saw a farm in the distance. Okay, I don't see anyone. If we're really sneaky, we can probably take just a little bit without getting caught. Billy and I got right to harvesting, collecting as much food as we could.
Why, hello over there.
Uh-oh, it was the farmer. We had to get out of there.
Wait, hang on a moment. I don't mind if you eat my crops. In fact, eat as much as you want.
Really? No one has ever been this nice to us.
Yes, well, there aren't very many friendly animals around here these days. Something dangerous out there seems to be making them disappear.
Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's the dinosaurs taking them all out.
Dinosaurs? Huh. Well, I suppose that must be it. If that's the case, why don't you two stay in my barn for safety?
We agreed and followed him into his barn. There were some nice hay bales to lay on. I was a little unsure because our cave seemed pretty safe, but at least there was food and someone to look out for us. The sun set, and we put our heads down for the night. On days 4 through 5, Billy and I woke up in the back of the cart, pulled by the farmer. Hey, what's going on? The farmer didn't respond and kept looking ahead. That's when I realized we were all tied up and couldn't move. Where are you taking us? The farmer continued to ignore me. After a little while longer, we arrived at a small clearing. The farmer took us out and tied us to a post. Without saying a word, he got back on his horse and left. I've got a bad feeling about this. Just then, I heard a stick break and saw a pack of raptors walking toward us. We had no way to run. It looks like it's the end for us, Billy. Suddenly, the ground began to shake and there was the sound of heavy thuds. The raptors ran away. What's going on? Is it an earthquake? It was worse. A huge T-Rex came stomping around the corner, and he had on some kind of weird-looking hat.
Aha! My dinner is served. You look delicious.
This dinosaur could talk. We had to escape. The T-Rex lunged at us, but we jumped out of the way, causing him to break our rope instead. Hurry, Billy, run! We took off into the woods. Hopefully we could escape. On day 6 through 8, we were still running for our lives. The T-Rex was hot on our tails. As we came through a thick section of trees, we managed to slip through, leaving the T-Rex behind them. I think we lost him. It was wishful thinking though, as he came stomping around the other side of the trees. Our chase soon led us to a river, and I hurried and swam across. Billy was still just a baby though, and his tiny legs couldn't swim very fast.
It's okay, Zozo. Save yourself.
Keep swimming, Billy. I won't leave you behind.
Ugh, I hate getting wet.
The T-Rex was so close, and I wasn't sure if he would make it. But at the last moment, he jumped onto shore, and we continued to run. We soon came bursting out of the forest, running across an open plain. Billy kept falling into small ponds, which was always a close call. Let's go, Billy. Maybe we can lose him in the trees. We ran into a purple forest, but it was no use. The T-Rex was still right behind us. Man, this guy must be really hungry. Come on, I have an idea. We circled back into the forest from before, and I headed toward a ravine I had seen earlier. A large tree had fallen across it, so Billy and I hurried and ran across. Before the T-Rex could cross though, I quickly cut the log, stopping him in his tracks.
Nah, you silly goats. You got away this time, but no one can outsmart me now. I'll find you soon enough.
The T-Rex turned and ran off. How are we going to survive now? On days 9 through 10, Billy and I were running back to the base as fast as we could. It didn't feel like there was anyone out here that we could trust. Soon, we had arrived back at our cliffside base. Well, Billy, looks like this is going to be our home for the future. Let's fix it up. I got right to work, making our base even cooler than before. I cleared out even more space than before and lined the inside with lots of wood. I also gave us all the equipment we'd need: beds, furnaces, and crafting tables. As far as I knew, we were the only animals that could climb up steep cliffs, so no one else was going to be climbing into our base. So check it out. What do you think of the base? What part do you like the best? With the base completed, I decided to head over to some nearby caves to mine some iron. Luckily, I was able to quickly find some, so I mined it out. I also found some coal, which I was going to need to smelt the iron. I hurried back to the base and got right to work, smelting down all of the iron ore into iron ingots. I then used those to make myself a full set of iron armor, and also used them to make an iron sword, a pickaxe, axe, shovel, and hoe. This is all going to be good for me, but I think Billy is going to need some armor too. With some of the leftover iron, I made Billy some of his own goat armor. He's gonna love this. I brought it down to his base and tossed it out to him. He could barely contain his excitement. We're ready for anything now. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get that farmer back. On days 11 to 12, I left the base to go get that farmer. He was going to have a lot of explaining to do for leaving us tied to a post as dinosaur dinner. As I was making my way through the forest, I heard a howl and was suddenly attacked by a pack of wolves. Why is everyone here so mean to me? I'm just a simple man, trying to make my way in the universe. It's a good thing I had just upgraded my gear though, as I was able to defeat the wolves with no trouble at all. Soon, I was back at the farm and noticed it looked abandoned. Where is that farmer? Don't tell me he's hiding. I then checked the farmhouse and saw the farmer inside, packing his bags. What did you think you were doing, leaving us to be eaten like that? I hit the farmer and he started to fight back. He clearly wasn't ready for a fight though.
Hang on just a second there. Please don't hurt me.
And why wouldn't I? You weren't very nice to me.
Okay, let me explain.
Start talking, Slick. What's up with the T-Rex?
That T-Rex is crazy. I don't know how he got here in our time or how he learned to talk, but he's been forcing me to feed him all my animals. If I didn't give him more, he was gonna eat me. I decided I couldn't do it anymore though, and I was gonna flee. Time to start myself a vegetable garden somewhere peaceful. I promise, I'm not a danger to anyone.
I could tell he was sorry for what he had done, so even though I was still upset, I decided to forgive him and let him go. I left as he planted some vegetables I could use later. The farmer was no longer a threat, but what was I going to do about this T-Rex? On days 13 to 15, I arrived back at our base and headed up to Billy's room. When I entered, I barely recognized the place. Whoa, Billy, you've got a lot of work done. Your room looks awesome.
Thanks, Zozo. I also thought it'd be fun if we built a special statue. Here, take this wool. I'll show you what to do.
Billy and I headed out and got started on the statue. Billy was really excited about what we were building, and I thought it was coming along great. At least, as far as I could tell, it was pretty great. We soon finished the first part. Can you tell what we're building? I'm not really sure quite yet. I jumped down from the statue, and as I was walking, I was attacked by a bunch of spiders. Oh look, another mob who wants to hurt me. Stay back, you punks. These guys weren't very tough, and I managed to take them out in just a few hits. Uh-oh, I can hear some more spiders in that cave. I better take them out too. I entered the cave, and sure enough, there were more spiders. One of these spiders was different though, and had blue eyes. The spiders were pretty mad at me, and they hurt a lot. But if I could survive a T-Rex attacking me, I could fight these guys off too. I managed to beat them both down. When the blue-eyed guy disappeared, he left behind something interesting. Poisonous essence. I'm not sure what I'll do with this, but I'll have to hang on to it for now. Just then, I heard more spider noises echoing from the cave. I headed in deeper. What kind of monster would be waiting for me? On days 16 to 19, I was making my way deeper into the cave when I came across a bunch of brown terracotta. I don't know what all of this is doing down here, but Billy said we'd need it for the statue. I eagerly mined up all of the terracotta. Who knew when we'd be able to find more? As I scooped up the rest of the terracotta, I heard those spider noises again. Well, let's go down a little deeper, just to take a look. I soon arrived at the very bottom of a deep cave that was full of spider webs. I turned around and saw there was a huge spider on the ceiling. Okay, just stay calm, don't panic. Suddenly, the spider attacked. Spiders! Why did it have to be spiders? This big hairy beast did a lot of damage, and I wasn't sure if I was going to survive. If I could get the right hits in, I just might make it. I swung my sword as hard as I could and finally was able to take it down. Just then, I felt my strength begin to grow, and I leveled up into a bigger goat, and I've gained 4 more hearts. I took a closer look at my headbutt ability and noticed I had an even stronger knockback power, and I could jump higher too. I hurried back to my house. I had an idea of what I could do with the poisonous essence. I walked back up to my crafting table, and by combining the essence with my iron sword, I crafted a spider sword. Tomorrow, I'm heading off to find the T-Rex. On days 20 to 22, I left my base to go find the T-Rex. I wasn't quite ready to fight him, but surely he had a base somewhere. If I could find his base, maybe I could find a way to defeat him. As I walked across the land, I heard a noise up in the distance.
Oh, you wild raptors, get away from me.
The group of raptors were attacking what looked to be a scientist. He needed my help. Watch out, I'm coming in. I leapt into action and started to fight off the raptors. I was stronger and had better gear, so these raptors didn't know what hit them. They were a feisty bunch, but I was able to knock them all out.
Oh my goodness, aren't you just a marvelous little animal?
Oh, well thanks. Who are you and what are you doing all the way out here? There's all kinds of strange things going on.
The name's Faraday, and yes, I am aware of these things. They are actually all my fault.
Your fault? What do you mean? The scientist began to explain.
You see, I'm not actually from this time. I am from the future. I invented a time machine helmet that let me travel all the way back to dinosaur times. I ran across the land. I felt so cool knowing that I was the first human to ever step foot on the land. Later that day, though, I sat down to rest, and a little raptor came and scooped my helmet onto his head. This wouldn't have been the biggest problem, but that T-Rex came along, flipped the raptor into the air, and the helmet landed on his head. Thing is, though, my helmet also makes the user smarter, which is why the T-Rex can talk. I had an old prototype helmet that I used to chase the T-Rex through time, but it broke when we got to this present. Luckily, the T-Rex seems pretty happy to be here, since there is plenty of easy food for him.
Wow, that is not the story I was expecting to hear when I woke up today. So what can we do to get the helmet back?
I have some ideas, but I haven't been able to test any of them out out yet. That T-Rex's sidekicks keep attacking me. He must have brought them through time with him.
Well, we've got a safe base built into a hill. How about you come live with us? You can do your research in peace there.
That would be terrific.
On days 23 to 26, I got right to work, building Faraday a lab at our base. There was all kind of technology that he wanted added, and it took a lot of hard work to get it right. But in the end, I was able to make him everything he would need to continue doing research. When it was complete, Faraday went and took a look around to make sure everything was in working order. Later on, I hopped in the elevator and took it for a ride myself. It was kind of fun riding in the elevator and getting to look out the window, but I'd still rather climb up the side of cliffs. I met Faraday in the front of the lab, and he told me how happy he was to finally get started. It was going to take some time for him to figure things out, but he said I should make sure I upgrade my gear for when we finally face off against the T-Rex. On days 27 to 31, I decided that I could use some more upgrades that could keep me safe from attack. Faraday told me there was a special item I could get from bears that could help me with this. Bears are super scary. I sure hope nothing goes wrong as I do this. I headed to a nearby forest and soon saw a small group of bears. With my spider sword in hand, I attacked. Very nice to meet you, sir. The bear didn't seem very happy to meet me and swung at me with their heavy claws. They were pretty tough, and it was a hard fight, but in the end, I was able to take him out. There were a couple of other bears nearby too, which I was able to quickly defeat without too much trouble. That's when I saw one of them had dropped what I was looking for. Oh look, steadfast spikes. This makes it harder for bad guys to knock me back. Awesome! I then noticed there were some fruit trees nearby, so I ran through the trees and collected as much fruit as I could. Fruits are the best. I always try to eat them when I can. After I collected the fruits, I decided to do some exploring. As I crossed an empty field, I saw a small house in the distance. Let's see who lives here. I knocked on the door and a raccoon was inside.
Who's out there?
Hi, I just wanted to see who lived here and make sure you knew about the T-Rex running around.
A T-Rex? Big deal. I have a bigger problem.
A bigger problem? What could that be?
My magic coal was stolen.
Your what?
My magic coal. It's the best thing I've ever found.
Do you mean stole?
How I got it isn't important. Do you think you can help me or not?
Sure, I'll help. The raccoon explained that a coyote had grabbed it off his doorstep when he wasn't looking and told me where to go to find him. I nodded and headed off for the camp. On days 32 to 35, I soon arrived at the coyote's base. This place is way bigger than the raccoon made it sound. I walked in and was immediately attacked by a pack of wolves. Relax, guys, I'm just looking for a piece of coal. The wolves didn't care and continued to attack. With my attacks, I was able to defeat them before they could do too much damage. Now, where could this magic coal be? What does that even look like? I kept looking through the base, fighting off the occasional wolf here and there. Eventually, I reached the top of the base as I finished up the rest of the wolves.
Hey, who do you think you are coming into my house and messing with my guards?
I'm here for Mr. Raccoon. You stole something of his and I'm here to get it back.
That little raccoon is such a loser. He just gets stuff out of the trash. He's weird, so I like being mean to him.
Well, that's no way to treat someone for being different. The coyote and I started to fight. This guy was so mean. It's not okay to talk about people like that. By using my spider sword, I was able to poison him, which was bringing down his health. You're not as tough as you think you are. The coyote and I kept going at each other until at long last, I hit him with the final blow and took him out. That's when I saw he had dropped the magic coal. I don't know what's so special about this, but I better get it back to that raccoon. With the coal in my pocket, I hurried out of the base and headed back toward the raccoon's house. On days 36 to 39, I arrived back at the raccoon's house with his magic coal. After he came out of his house, I tossed it over to him.
Woo, my magic coal. I'm so happy to see it again. Thank you.
No problem. I'm just happy I could help.
You have done the greatest thing for me. Here, I have something that you might be interested in.
The raccoon threw out an interesting looking piece of tech.
I don't know what it's for, but maybe that scientist friend of yours could use it. By the way, I get around these parts quite a bit, so if you're ever in need of information, let me know. I can probably help.
I thanked him and turned to head back to the base. I wondered if Faraday would know something about this tech. On days 40 to 43, I arrived back to the base and headed up and into the science lab. I saw Faraday working in his lab and knocked on the window.
Zozo, it's been a while. How are things going?
Really good. While I was out exploring, I came across this strange piece of tech. Do you know anything about it?
My Lanta, that's part of the teleportation helmet the T-Rex has. Without this, he's not able to travel through time.
Well, that's good, right? It means we have a chance to stop him before he can ruin other timelines.
Precisely. I've been doing some research of my own. Let me check my notes here.
Faraday went over to his computers and printed out some notes.
Yes, I am able to make the needed repairs, but there's a special element I need to do them.
That sounds easy enough. Do you know where I can get them?
I do, but the catch is that you have to defeat a rather nasty mob to get it.
Faraday went on to explain where I needed to go to find them. Hopefully it's not too much of a fight. On days 44 to 49, I headed into the mystical forest Faraday had told me about. As I got closer, I was suddenly attacked by a heavy creeper. Whoa, slow down there, buddy. I swung at him and managed to knock him out. It looked like he had dropped something, which I picked up. Creeper shards? Was this what Faraday was looking for? I better keep looking around. I kept going through the forest when suddenly a bunch of the creepers began attacking me and exploding. Keep it together, guys. Jeez. I managed to fight my way through the explosions with my ears ringing in my head. I soon stumbled upon a cave. Okay, he did mention it might be in a cave. I'll take a look. I headed into the cave and was attacked by a couple of spiders. I hit them with my spider sword. How do you like a taste of your own medicine? The spiders were soon destroyed and I continued down the cave. It kept going deeper and deeper until I saw something terrifying ahead. Okay, this has got to be it. What is this thing? The earth golem made a terrible sound as it tried to hit me. He definitely didn't like me stomping around in his cave. With his giant arms, he knocked me down to half a heart. My spider sword had poisoned him, and I was able to land the final blow. Yes, I got him! As he disappeared, I noticed that he dropped something. This looks like some kind of strange display. This must be what Faraday is after. Just then, I felt that familiar power flow into me, and I turned into a bigger and stronger goat. Looks like I've got 13 hearts now, too. While I was down there, I also got to work mining out the diamonds in the wall. No wonder this guy didn't want anyone down here. It was filled with good stuff. That should be everything. Let's get this back to Faraday and see what he can do with it. On days 50 to 53, I returned back to the base and headed into the lab. Faraday was hard at work and was very excited to see that I had made it back. I believe this is what you were searching for?
Oh, Zozo, you beautiful being. This is going to work perfect.
I was feeling pretty good about myself, so I tossed in the creeper shards as well. And what do you think of this?
Zozo, this is a ground creeper toenail. Please, never give this to me again.
Oh, my bad. Faraday said it would take him a few days to get the next project put together, so I headed back up to the base to craft some diamond armor. I decided I could use a full set of armor, so I made that. Then I went ahead and made an entire set of tools. I always felt a little bit more safe after making new diamond gear. With my armor upgraded, I headed outside to go and do some more work on the statue. I had the terracotta I had collected before, so I wanted to make some good progress. So what do you think about the second part? Think you can still guess what it's going to be? I then headed back over to my base. This place could use some more improvements. I decided I wanted to add another level atop the cliff. We hadn't been attacked by any mobs, and I was pretty sure nothing was going to get to us. I was pretty proud of what I was able to build, and thought it looked really cool. This is a nice house, but it is pretty big. I think I should go get Mr. Raccoon and invite him to live here. It's not safe out there. On days 54 to 57, I was heading across the field when I saw that the raccoon's house had been destroyed. As I got closer, I saw him lying in the center of his destroyed house. He was clearly hurt. Oh no, who did this to you?
It was those raptors. I guess some of the wolves told them I sent you to get my magic coal back from the coyote, and they attacked me without warning.
I'm sorry. I can't help feeling like this is all my fault. Surely I can get you something to save you.
It's too late. They took everything I have. And don't worry, it's not your fault. Thanks for being the nice one who was willing to stand up for me.
And just like that, the raccoon fell over and disappeared. But before I could do anything else, I heard someone come up behind me.
Well, look who it is, boys.
You have a time-traveling helmet. How?
The big boss man made it for me. He's real smart now and is good with all them technologies. Speaking of which, we know you're hiding that little science man. Hand him over and we'll let you little goats live.
Why would I let you guys have him? You're just going to hurt him or try to get him to make more helmets.
We don't need him to make more helmets. Mr. Rex is gonna make all of us our own. Then you won't be able to do nothing.
You can make as many helmets as you want, but if there's no one to wear them, that's not gonna do you much good, is it?
Well, what do you mean, no one to wear them? Can't you see all my boys here?
All that technology on your head and you're still not very smart, are you? I jumped forward and swung at the raptor, knocking him back. There were a lot of them, but I couldn't let them get away with everything. They hurt my friend, and they wanted to hurt everyone else I knew. You guys are gonna pay for what you've done. I managed to knock out all of the raptors one by one until only the leader was left.
Boy, you're crazy. I'm getting out of here.
Get back here, you coward! I chased the raptor into the forest, but unfortunately he managed to get away in the trees. I had to hurry back to Faraday. We were running out of time. On days 58 to 62, I returned back to the base and headed for the lab. I knocked on the window, and Faraday came out to meet me.
Zozo, what is it? You look worried.
The T-Rex has figured out how to make his own helmets and is trying to give them to a whole army of raptors. That, and they hurt one of my new friends.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry to hear it. I do have some good news for you though. I haven't got the time travel fixed yet, but I built a tracker into this helmet that will lead you to anyone who has a helmet of their own. Perhaps now we may be able to find their base and hit them where it hurts.
I put the helmet on and started it up. Right away I could see a map that showed several X's on it. They must have split up. This is going to be a massive help in our hunt to track them down. Just then, Billy came walking up to us.
Zozo, I think you should go for the raptor first. Then we can focus on the T-Rex. Those raptors could be out there, hurting even more innocent animals.
That's a good point. Plus, it'll be easier to take down the T-Rex if his sidekicks are gone. I'm on it. On days 63 to 66, I decided that if I was going to fight the raptor, I needed to beef up my gear. I had nearly defeated him last time, so he'd be stronger when we met next. I headed across the land to a lavender field to get what I needed. Rumor says there's there's alexandrite ore here, which is even stronger than diamonds. I headed into the field and soon found some alexandrite ore. I mined it up as fast as I could. I couldn't believe I found it so quickly. With my pockets full of ores, I took a look around and saw a big sign on a hill. Oh, that reminds me, don't forget to sub to the channel, otherwise you'll miss our next adventure together. Sometime later, I had arrived back at the base and headed over to the crafting table. With the new ore, I was able to make myself a new helmet, chestplate, leggings, and boots. I went ahead and equipped everything. Let's get that tracking system booted up and take down that raptor. On day 67 to 70, I stepped outside my house and booted up the tracker. Okay, I can see 2 X's on the map. Looks like they're still separated. This one looks a little closer to the raccoon's place, so I'm guessing that's the raptor. I headed down from my base and off into the forest. The X was still pretty far away, so I made sure to stop and check every now and then. Oh, it looked like it moved. I better hurry so I can catch up to them. I kept going in the direction of the X, passing through some pretty impressive landscapes. It was too bad there were so many mean dinosaurs about, because the land was really beautiful. I stopped and checked my map one more time. Okay, it looks like I'm pretty close, and that they might be in some kind of structure. It must be their base. I kept making my way there, when suddenly I saw a fortress off in the distance. I could see a bunch of raptors roaming around, and a lot of them had helmets on. Uh-oh, looks like they've made more helmets. I better get in there, and fast. On days 71 to 74, I charged up to the base and attacked the guards. They had helmets of their own, but they didn't seem to be very smart. The T-Rex clearly wasn't very good at making them yet. I defeated the guards and headed into the base. There were even more raptors in here. Where's your leader? I cut through the raptors using my spider sword and other attacks. They didn't stand a chance. I had to hurry though. If they figured out how to make the helmets perfectly, we'd be in a world of hurt. I had finally taken out all of the raptors in the courtyard when I noticed they had a storage shed nearby. I started opening the different containers to see if they had anything good. I grabbed some of their supplies, but also saw there were some raptor teeth nearby. Oh, I know just the thing I can make with this. Using the crafting table, I managed to make a raptor tooth sword. Let's see how they like fighting against themselves. On day 75 to 78, I went to go find the raptor leader when he jumped out and hit me. Ouch! Get back here! I chased him into the base and down a long flight of stairs. We soon reached an open room.
Who do you think you are? One single goat trying to take down a whole base of raptors? This ends here. Get 'em, boys!
Suddenly, all the raptors in the room started to attack. This guy was no leader. He just wanted to make everyone do his dirty work for him. You'd think with all these smart helmets, you guys would actually have some kind of strategy for this fight. The raptors were swarming in on me, but I was able to keep them back, using all of my weapons. Their leader watched as I finished taking out all of his henchmen. Why don't you come down here and fight me yourself? Or are you too scared?
Scared? Ain't nobody calling me scared.
The raptor leader jumped forward and started swinging. It turns out he was actually pretty tough. I had learned a lot through all of my fights though, and nothing was going to make me back down. He had to pay for what he did to my raccoon friend. I hit him as hard as I could and could see he would soon be defeated.
Heh, it doesn't matter that you beat me. You'll never beat Mr. Rex. He's gonna fix the time machine soon, and then there'll be hundreds of raptors and other dinosaurs here. You won't stand a chance.
And just like that, he was defeated. He was right though. If we don't stop the T-Rex, we're all gonna be someone's dinner. On day 79 to 84, I was heading back to my base when I saw a nearby cave. It wouldn't hurt to get some more resources, so let's see what we can find. As I approached the cave, I was suddenly attacked by a bunch of mushroom pigs. I should have known I would run into something like you here. I quickly knocked them out and headed into the cave, fighting some more mushroom pigs along the way. They weren't very strong. There were a lot of them. That's when I noticed there was a bunch of redstone in here. I'm not sure what I can use this for yet, but maybe there's some kind of creative build Faraday can make with it. I continued into the cave, collecting as much redstone as I could find. There were also a bunch of mushroom pigs, which I quickly knocked out of the way. At the very end of the cave, there was a room filled with an insane amount of redstone. Oh yeah, if I ever need more, I know just where to get it. I headed back out of the cave toward my base. I needed to talk to Faraday. Hopefully he had made some progress on the helmet. On days 85 to 89, I had arrived back at the base and headed down into the lab. I gave Faraday a knock on the window and he came out to meet me. I told him all about what had happened with the raptors and how the T-Rex was starting to make even more helmets.
Yes, that is very concerning. I have been working on some updates as well though. Let me show you.
While you look for that, I also collected some redstone. Maybe it can help. I tossed out the redstone I had gathered when suddenly there was a crackling sound coming from Faraday's pocket.
What's this? The substance seems to be reacting with the updated helmet I made.
The redstone? That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Oh, redstone is what you call it. This material must have disappeared before my time. Are you able to get more of this? I have an idea.
Oh yeah, I can definitely get more. I'll be right back. On days 90 to 94, I headed back to the redstone cave. He said he needed more. I'll get him more. I got right to work mining out a bunch of the redstone. There was no way this wouldn't be enough. It took a long time, but I finally gathered up all the redstone we would need. Soon I was back in the lab and gave Faraday a knock on the window. As always, he was excited to meet me.
You've brought me more redstone, I presume?
Oh yeah, this should be more than enough to do whatever you're thinking. I tossed all the redstone I had gathered on over to him.
Excellent. Here's the upgraded helmet. This blue shield on top should protect you from the effects of the redstone.
Faraday then tossed out a bunch of redstone power balls.
Now that we've combined these with the redstone, they'll pack a powerful punch against anyone wearing a helmet. In fact, it should disable it, at least for a moment.
That'll be awesome. This is going to be a lifesaver, I'm sure.
Ah yes, speaking of which, there is a special strength ability I've programmed in it as well, but it will only work once, so be sure to only use it when you really need it.
I nodded and thanked him for all of his hard work. It's a good thing he got trapped in our time too. Otherwise, we'd never get out of this mess. On days 95 to 97, I decided I should upgrade the base one more time before heading out to face the T-Rex. Billy was still young and I wanted to make sure he had a safe place to live, just in case things went sideways. Once I had expanded the base a little more, I grabbed Billy and we went outside to work on the last part of the statue. This was a tough one to build, but I think it looks really cool. It would certainly scare off anyone who thinks that they're tougher than us, that is. Soon, we had completed the statue. I was pretty proud of everything we had built so far. I still had a lot of ideas for the future though. What part of the builds were your favorite? On day 98, I stepped outside the base to have a chat with Billy. All right, Billy, I'm headed off to fight the T-Rex. Hopefully, I'll see you soon.
Good luck, Zozo, but before you go, there was something I wanted to say.
That sounds important. What is it?
I just think that everyone needs to subscribe, otherwise we'll never win.
Oh, that is important. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, as that will give us the strength to win the fight. Billy headed back inside, and I booted up the tracking system. All right, I can see him on the map. It's showtime. I headed off in the direction of the T-Rex. It was now or never. On day 99, I had made it to the edge of the T-Rex's base. He definitely couldn't have built a base like this without some intelligence. This guy isn't going to be like the Raptors. This guy's for real. I made my way closer and took a look up at the tower. There's no time to waste. I'm coming for you, Rexy. I charged into the base and entered the inside of the tower where the T-Rex was waiting for me.
I've been waiting for you, Zozo.
That sounds kind of awkward, just standing here, alone, in a tower, waiting for me.
Nah, I don't have time for your nonsense. Obviously, I've been doing other things.
Oh yeah? Like what? Being sad I took out all of your friends?
My friends, please. There were more dinosaurs here too, but I got hungry.
You ate all of the other dinosaurs? You truly are a monster.
Say what you want, but it doesn't matter. This helmet is nearly fully operational. I can bring dinosaurs in anytime I want. And soon, I'll be able to jump time myself.
That wasn't good to hear. I had to hurry and take action before you could do anything else. If you think you're so tough, you'll have to get through me first.
That's the idea.
The T-Rex lunged at me and we started to fight. If I was going to save the future, the time to do so was now. The T-Rex lived up to his reputation, hitting me with some hard hits. It hurt, and my health was dropping fast. Oh, I can't let this guy keep getting these hits on me. I'm not gonna last long like this. I refocused and started to get in some more hits of my own. I think he was really surprised by how strong I was, especially when I would hit him with my headbutt.
You think you can defeat me? Let me show you what real power is.
Suddenly, 2 portals opened up and more dinosaurs came flying in. No, not the time travel! These dinosaurs were insane! I swung my sword and managed to take them out, but soon there were even more coming in.
Don't you see? You can take down as many dinosaurs as you want, but I will always have the upper hand.
He was right. I couldn't keep fighting off time-traveling dinosaurs forever. What could I do? Oh, wait a second. What am I doing? If I want to stop the time travel, I need to disable his helmet. I reached for the power balls Faraday had given me and started to throw them. As they hit the T-Rex, I could see his helmet start to spark as he ran around in circles.
Oh, what is going on?
This is it. I've got to use that one-time strength boost. If there was ever a time I needed it, it's now. I clicked the button on my helmet and I started to grow. I even gained more hearts. I was big enough to truly take him on now. This feels amazing. Now I really am the GOAT. I charged at the T-Rex and landed a hit on him, just as the sparking effects were wearing off.
What the? How did you get so big?
The T-Rex started to spawn in more dinosaurs, but it didn't matter. I quickly cut them down and kept hitting the T-Rex. This is for all the animals you hurt. I could tell I was really hurting him, but he was hurting me too. It was only a matter of time before one of us fell. Who was it going to be? Just then, I delivered the final blow, and the T-Rex disappeared, dropping his helmet. I don't believe it. He's gone. But I better hurry. Faraday needs this helmet. On day 100, I returned back to my base. This time, Faraday came out to meet me.
Zozo, you're back. You must have done it.
I did, and I couldn't have done it without your help. Here, let me give you the helmet back.
You know, why don't you hang on to it? I just need this one component. You never know. Something might come up again when I need your help.
in the future.
You never know what's going to happen, but I'm glad that today was a success. In the meantime, I'll be here, ready for when adventure calls. On day 1, I spawned in as a little mouse. Ooh, look how cute and tiny I am. But uh-oh, I only have 1 heart. I've got to be careful. That's when I noticed that my hunger bar was half the size of a normal one too. Uh-oh, I guess I have a tiny stomach. I better hurry and start getting some supplies. Right away, I started punching trees so that I could get some wood. Using the wood I had collected, I put together a crafting table, then used that to make a wooden pickaxe, shovel, axe, and sword. I packed up my crafting table, then started to look for some food. That's when my hunger bar started dropping. I had to hurry. I soon saw a patch of berries. Oh, thank goodness, this is just what I was looking for. Suddenly, I heard a growl, and a giant grizzly bear came walking over. Oh, he's going to eat me. I gotta run. I ran and ran through the forest until I felt like I had gotten away. This forest was a dangerous place. Just then, I heard some squeaking up ahead. I soon saw a little mice family. Oh, hey guys, you're just like me. Is it okay if we stick together?
A new friend. Yeah, absolutely. Everything is easier when you stick together. My name is Remy.
Remy introduced me to the rest of his family. It was nice to have a group of friendly faces. He told me that they had a nice cave to live in, too. We headed over to the cave when suddenly a fox popped out and started to attack us. Oh no, I have to help my new family. Together, we did everything we could to fight off the fox. Luckily for me, our combined power was strong, and we took the fox down. Yeah, you won't be messing with us again. We then all went into the cave. It was small but cozy, the perfect place to settle for the night. I just hoped that tomorrow I could find some more food. Otherwise, I'm in big trouble. On day 2, I headed into the cave to get some coal. I was able to quickly find some and mined it out. I also grabbed some stone. Time for this mouse to get an upgrade. I put down my crafting table and used it to put together some stone tools. I also made some torches. I headed over to our cave and set up the torches. This should help keep the mobs away. My hunger was starting to drop again, so I decided to go out and look for some more food. As I ran through the forest, I could see something on the ground, but as I got closer, I could see it was just a flower. Man, where is all the food? I didn't have too much time to think about it though, as the grizzly bear from before showed up again. Oh, this guy again? I can't risk it with 1 heart. I had stone tools, but there was no way I could take him on. I soon arrived back at the cave to talk to my mouse friends. Have you guys been able to find any food? Everywhere I look is either empty or has a hungry bear.
You're not alone. We can't find anything either, but that's because of the humans.
The humans? What do you mean?
There's been a lot of humans coming through here, and they've been taking all of the food. It's been hard for us to find anything.
I felt really bad for them, and they agreed to try and go look for food. I wanted to do something to make them happy, so I went outside and gathered up some of the materials. Using everything I had collected, I started to fix up the cave. We might not have any food, but at least we could have some beds to sleep in. It's the best I could do, but I just wanted to say thank you for letting me stay here. I'm really starting to feel like I'm part of your family. On day 3, I woke up to a loud noise. There was a human in our cave. He had put my mouse family into bags, and I was next. Let them go. I had tried to hit him, but he nearly took me out. I had no choice but to run.
You can run, but I'm gonna find you eventually.
I kept running until the human was far behind me. What was I going to do now? How could this happen to my family? That guy was huge. But one day, I'm gonna be big and strong too. Mark my words. I'm gonna save my family from the humans. On days 4 to 5, I set off to find myself a new place to live. If I was going to get big and strong, I needed a safe place to sleep at night and store my gear. I soon found myself a nice cliffside and dug into the side of it. I wanted something cozy like the last cave, but I was gonna make it a little nicer. Time to get some building supplies. I headed out into the forest and gathered wood, as well as all the other materials I was going to need. This was going to be a classy rat's nest. I then got to work building all of the rooms. I decided to build something even bigger than what I needed, including rooms for other mice. I was determined to save my mouse family, and they were going to need a room when they came to live with me. Soon, the base was completed, and I decided to get some rest. In the middle of the night, I heard some noise outside. Uh-oh, I forgot to put out torches. I gotta take care of these zombies. I got right to work fighting off the zombies, but I had to be careful because I still only had 1 heart. Luckily for me, I was able to survive and took them all out. I better get those torches up quick. The next day, I headed outside to take a look around the area. What is that over there? I went down into the forest and soon came upon a small, half-built structure. Inside was another mouse. Hey, you're just like me.
Am I? Cause I'm looking real buff while you're just a skinny little guy. I'm not a mouse, I'm a vole. What are you doing out here?
My family was kidnapped by the humans, and I'm going to rescue them, but I'm worried about getting food first.
Boy, are you right about that. How am I supposed to keep to my all-protein diet with those humans taking all the food? They also got my family too. I think they're keeping them as pets.
Oh, these humans are ruining everything. Let's team up and take them down. Yeah, let's do it. 2 more voles had popped up from nearby. Whoa, where did you guys come from? I thought you were the only one.
Oh yeah, these are my brothers. They're around.
What's up, little guy? You look like you could use a protein shake.
Thanks. Well, the more the merrier, I suppose. Come on, you guys should live at my base with me. Tomorrow we can figure out the food. The voles agreed, and we headed out. On day 6 to 8, I was wandering through the forest when I finally came across a berry bush, but it was empty. That's when I saw a raccoon taking off the last few berries. Oh hey, would you mind sparing a few berries? I haven't eaten in days.
Heh, that's just how it works out here, bud. Do I have enough to spare? Yeah, I do, but I guess I'm just a jerk. Sorry, not sorry.
I couldn't believe this guy. Well, you're right about one thing. You are a jerk. I had had enough. It was time to start fighting back. Give me those berries. I jumped into action and started fighting the raccoon. I caught him off guard. He didn't expect a little mouse like me to be this strong. I managed to beat him in no time. As he disappeared, he dropped a bunch of berries. Finally, some food. I took a bite of the berries when I suddenly felt my strength begin to grow, and I leveled up. I had gotten even stronger, and now I have 4 hearts. Awesome. With my belly more full than before, I decided to head into a cave. Lucky for me, I found a whole bunch of iron. By using my pickaxe, I managed to mine a whole bunch of iron, enough to make myself all kinds of iron equipment. As I headed back toward the base, I also came across some sugarcane. Even more food. Today is just my lucky day. I managed to collect a decent amount of sugarcane when suddenly the grizzly bear appeared again. I'm not running away this time. I jumped into action, but it was a mistake. This bear was just way too strong. Okay, looks like I'm running away this time. Today was just not the day to beat a bear, but hey, at least I got some food. Back at the base, I started planting the sugarcane. If I could get some more ingredients, I'd have myself a nice food source. I can also use it to make books. I was hoping to build a library in the base. Once the sugarcane was all planted, I went back to my base and started smelting the iron ore I'd collected. With the iron ingots, I made myself a full set of iron armor, then made all of the tools I would need as well. I'm feeling much better already. I then decided to upgrade the base by adding in a library. I felt like the voles might like it. I just wanted to make sure they were comfortable and happy to be here. Hey guys, come check out the new library. The voles headed upstairs to take a look around.
Reading is for nerds, but even I gotta admit, this is a pretty nice looking place. Good going, Pipsqueak.
On days 9 to 10, I woke up to the voles coming into my room.
Bro, we're starving. We gotta do something about this food situation.
Good morning. I agree, but I feel like I've run out of places to look.
There is this one place, but only someone small and sneaky could go there, like you.
I could give it a go. Where is it?
There's a human farm near here, just full of stuff. If you can get in there and steal some of their food, we could start our own farm.
That sounds a little risky, but at this point, I'm not sure what choice I have. I'll do it. The voles told me where I needed to go, and I went and waited outside for nighttime. Once it was good and dark, I snuck down and soon saw the farm. These humans have so much food. Why are they taking everything from the forest? I quickly gathered as much food as I could. We were finally going to have a reliable food source. Once I had grabbed a good amount of food, I noticed a chest nearby. Inside was a box of hats. I wonder what this is all about. Just then I heard a bark, and a dog came running over to me. Hey, why are you barking at me? Don't you know the humans are taking everyone's food? The dog stopped barking.
They're taking everyone's food? He's my best friend, but that doesn't seem like a very nice thing to do.
Suddenly, I heard a shout, and the farmer came running out.
Hey you, get on out of here.
I had no choice but to run away. Those humans were dangerous, and I would never rescue my family if they captured me too. After a bit of running, I made it back to my base. I threw some potatoes into the furnace and started making some beetroot soup. I also baked some bread. With all kinds of good food in my pockets, I headed over to the voles' room. I'm back, and look what I've got. I started tossing the food out, much to the voles' delight. We'd never have to be hungry again. After everyone had eaten, I showed them the hat box too. Everyone picked out their favorite hats and put them on. We were all pretty excited about it. The next day, I went outside and started working on a farm. Once it was all set up, I tilled the land and planted all the different plants. Finally, I could focus on my main mission of rescuing my family. On days 11 to 12, I woke up to the voles coming into my room again, but this time they weren't complaining. They were excited because they had something to show me. Apparently, it was a fancy statue. I went outside to take a look.
So, what do you think? We all worked really hard on it. It's a mouse, just like you.
Wow, guys, that is really nice. Thanks for making this for me. You know what could be really fun?
What's that?
Why don't we make one together? There's more than one of us here, so I think it just makes sense for there to be more than one statue.
Yeah, that sounds dope, but we don't really want to build another one, so you can make it. We can't wait to see it.
First off, I decided to go out and start collecting all the flowers I would need to make dye. I was going to find some sheep later, so I ran around getting everything I would need. Once I had gotten all the flowers I needed, I snuck back to the human's farm. I snuck upstairs and managed to grab some shears out of the chest. Then I went over to the sheep and dyed them all the different colors I would need. I had just collected a decent amount of wool when the farmer and dog came running out. Uh-oh, here they come again. I've got a bolt. The farmer shouted and the dog barked, but I was able to get out of there just in time. Back at the base, I got to work building the first part of the statue. It meant a lot to me that the voles had made me a statue, so I thought it'd be nice to make something too. I still needed some more supplies, so I stopped at the first part. On days 13 to 15, I was out exploring the woods when I came across a beehive. Oh, we could use some honey. This will be very helpful. I gathered it up and then saw another one, so I gathered the honey from there too. That's when I noticed a small house on top of the hill. A house that small must be for a mouse. I ran up the hill to find out. The door opened and inside was a feeble old mouse.
Why, hello, dear. What brings you out to these parts?
Hi, I'm out gathering some supplies for my friends. I've got to search pretty far for special items since the humans are taking all of our resources.
Ah, those pesky humans. They're just the worst. It's high time the Mouse of Myth comes along.
The Mouse of Myth? Who's that?
Ah, have you not heard the story? Legend says that when the humans begin to ruin the Mouselands, a brave and mighty mouse will rise up, growing to be even bigger and stronger than the humans. That mouse will save all mousekind.
Really? Wow, that actually sounds a lot like the situation I'm going through right now.
Perhaps you are the Mouse of Myth then. Ever experienced sudden bursts of strength?
Once, but I think that was because I hadn't eaten in a few days. The Mouse of Myth sounds way stronger than me.
Well, the Mouse of Myth will be confident in himself, so perhaps it's not you after all.
Oh yeah, maybe not. We chatted a while longer, but all I could think about was the Mouse of Myth. I hoped that could be me, but maybe she was right. I didn't feel confident in it at all. I soon left to go back to my base. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to the voles coming into my room again.
Yo, Zozo, you've been proven to be pretty tough after all, so we had a favor to ask.
What's going on?
Some of our buddies got themselves into a bit of a situation, and we were hoping you could bail them out.
I'll see what I can do. Show me the way. I followed the voles out of the base and out across the land. They had soon led me into a dense jungle where we came across some squirrels stuck in a tree. There was a Tasmanian devil down at the bottom, and he wasn't letting them down. Out of the way, mister. I charged at the Tasmanian devil, and we started to fight. Why won't you leave those poor squirrels alone? The voles cheered me on as we continued to fight. This little guy was intense, but I was quick and took him out in no time.
Bro, nice one.
The vole called up to his squirrel friends to let them know it was safe, and they came down to chat.
Yo, that was sick. We thought we were never gonna get out of that tree.
No worries, guys. I'm just glad we could help. Say, if you want, you should come live at our base with us. There's a lot of dangerous creatures out here.
Gnarly, bruh. We'd love to live there with you guys.
Just then, I felt strength coming to me, and I grew in size, and I've gained even more hearts than before.
Dude, nice gains. I didn't know a mouse could beef up like that.
Soon we all left and headed back to the base. I had grown in size again. Maybe I could be the Mouse of Myth. I'd have to figure that out another day. Back at the base, I got right to work building the squirrels a place to live. I started with some steps and a ladder, then got to work making them a treehouse. I figured they would be happiest living in a tree, so I made it the best I could. Then I filled the inside with all the comforts they could need. Soon, I was done. I really hope they like it here. On days 20 to 22, I got woken up again, but this time, it wasn't by the voles. What is that sound? I ran outside and saw the base was surrounded by zombies. But where had all of the torches gone? I couldn't worry about that now though. I had some zombies to take care of. I ran down the hill and quickly attacked them. They weren't super tough, so I was able to defeat them quickly. Alright, I gotta figure out what happened. But just then, another group of zombies came over the hill. More of them? Oh brother. I started swinging my sword and was able to take a few more of them out. But how many more were there going to be? I don't know if I can fight them off forever. It was close, but I managed to finish them off. Okay, enough of that. I better get more torches. But then, even more zombies came over the hill, and this time, they were covered in iron armor. What is going on? I kept swinging my sword and was getting hits in, but these guys were way tougher with their armor. It was starting to look a little close, but I finally fought them all off. Oh, I can't fight anymore. Hopefully that's it. But it wasn't it. More iron-wearing zombies came over the hill, and this time, they had skeletons with them. Uh-oh, I don't think I can survive this. I started to fight them off, but it was too hard. I ran under the statue for cover, but I was surrounded. Just then, the voles came charging out of the base and attacked the zombies.
Hang on, Zozo. We're here to help.
With our combined power, we were able to start fighting back and start taking out the bad guys. Even the squirrels got into the fight. At long last, the zombies were finally defeated. This time, no more zombies or skeletons came over the hill. Soon, we were back in the base. Thanks, guys. I thought I was a goner.
We thought we ought to help you out for once.
I'm sure glad you did. We've got to figure out what happened to our torches, though. Otherwise, we'll be in big trouble.
Oh, right. We might know something about that.
The voles explained that they had taken all of the torches and put them in the library. Apparently, it was too dark for them to see what they were reading.
It turns out, reading is actually pretty dope, but we didn't think about the zombies. My bad, homie.
I told them it was okay and got to work setting up some new torches outside. We'll have to try and make even better defenses tomorrow. On days 23 to 26, I left my base to go and gather some more supplies. Our base had nearly been taken over last night, and we needed some serious upgrades. First, I dug up a bunch of clay. I was going to make bricks, so I needed to grab as much clay as I could. I then brought it back back to my base, where I began smelting it into bricks. Before I started working on the wall though, I decided to build a nice walkway down to the farm. It was going to be much better than having to get wet every time we needed to get a bite to eat. With the new bridge complete, I then got to work on the new walls. There were some natural mountains around the entrance to our base, but I thought it'd be smart to plug up the gaps with some walls. After all, a wall is no good if someone can just walk right through it. Once the walls are finished, my next project was building a guard tower. If we had something nice and tall, we'd be able to keep a close eye out for any more zombies, or even worse, humans. It took a bit, but the tower was soon complete too. As I was admiring the build from the courtyard, one of the squirrels came outside to meet me.
Hey man, nice building. You're really good at this.
Thanks. I just want us to be as safe as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm actually a pretty good cook. If you wouldn't mind building me a kitchen, I'd be happy to make food for everyone.
Oh, that's a great idea. Before I started on the kitchen though, I first grabbed some food from the farm. There was no point in building a kitchen if there's no food to store in it. With all the food in my pockets, I headed inside and got to work on the kitchen. I made sure to set up everything he needed and filled the pantry with all of the food. I couldn't wait to see what he'd make. Later that night, I was up in the tower to see how well our defenses worked. I could see a big group of zombies outside of the gate, but they had no chance of getting in. I'd call that a success. Now I just had to hope nothing bigger would stop by. On days 27 to 31, I was keeping watch from the tower when the bear from earlier showed up. This guy again? I'm so sick of him always trying to ruin my day. I ran down and headed outside the gate. You've tried to take my food too many times. I'm not letting you in here. The bear just laughed and let out a roar. He wasn't much of the talking type, but he was still a jerk. Just then, he charged. The bear was still really strong, but this time, I wasn't going to run away or back down. I was stronger, and he was going to have the fight of his life. With my sword in hand, I swung as hard as I could, knocking him back. He let out a roar, but it was too late. I hit him with the final blow, and he was defeated.
Well, aren't you just the toughest little mouse I've ever seen?
I looked up at a nearby tree and saw a crane looking down at me. Oh man, you have no idea. That bear has been trying to finish me off for days. I just couldn't let him win.
Well, it's not every day you see a mouse beating a bear. Have you ever considered joining a fighting league? All of the toughest animals around are in ours, and you'd be perfect.
Oh, I appreciate the offer, but I can't. I'm on a quest to save my family, not become the ultimate mouse champion.
Oh, but you don't understand. This will help you. By showing your bravery, you can inspire the crowd who want to help in your cause. Not to mention, you can earn some serious money by winning fights. Money that could help you.
Okay. I guess there's no harm in checking it out. Where do I need to go? The crane told me where to go, and I said I would head over there after preparing a little bit. He thanked me and took off. Later that day, I was deep in a cave looking for resources. If I was going to win any fights, I needed the best gear I could get. That's when I noticed there were tons of diamonds in this cave. I mined out as many as I could. This was just what I needed. With my pockets overflowing with diamonds, I headed out of the cave. Back at the base, I got right to crafting, making myself a full set of diamond armor, a helmet, boots, leggings, and a chest plate. I then used them to make a pickaxe, shovel, axe, and sword. There's no way I'm gonna lose any fights now. On days 32 to 35, I made my way to the location the crane had told me about. Standing outside the entrance was the crane.
Good evening, sir. I'm so thrilled you could make it. You've got quite the challenger tonight, but I think you will do splendidly.
Okay, I'm all ready to fight, so bring it on. The crane motioned for me to enter, and I headed in. The arena was brightly lit, or at least the fighting area was. I could hear a crowd in the darkness though, so I knew the place was packed. As I stood in the arena, I saw a gate open at the other end. It looked like my challenger was a Shiba Inu. I could take this guy. A bell rang and the fight was on. The Shiba was tough, but so was I. As we fought, the crowd cheered. As we both landed blows, they oohed and awed. They seemed like they were really into it. If I can win this fight, all the animals watching will be able to help me rescue my family. I've got to win. The Shiba Inu put up a good fight, but with my new weapons and armor, there was really no contest. I soon defeated him, and the crowd went wild. As they cheered, a bunch of emeralds started dropping into the arena, as well as XP points. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these emeralds, but I'm sure I can figure something out. This is awesome. Just then, a bunch of lapis and obsidian dropped in as well. Excited, I ran around picking up my rewards as the crowd continued to cheer. I gave one final wave to the crowd, then headed back down and out of the arena to meet with the crane.
Congratulations. I just knew you could win.
Thanks. That was actually a lot of fun. I think all the animals were really excited for me too.
Oh yes, the crowd loved you. Please, feel free to come back soon. I'm sure the crowd was very inspired by you.
I thanked the crane for inviting me and ran back toward my base. I made a stop by the sheep farm first though and grabbed a bunch of dyed wool. I was going to need this for the statue. Back at the base, I took the wool I'd collected and got to work on the next part. I kept going until I ran out of wool again. I couldn't wait to see what it would look like when I was done. On days 36 to 39, I was exploring a nearby acacia forest when I saw something strange in the distance. Is that a mouse? She's really beating that wolf up. The mouse soon defeated the wolf, and I hurried over to talk to her. Whoa, nice moves! That was super impressive. impressive.
Thanks. I thought I was the only big strong mouse out here, but I see I'm not the only one. My name is Bella.
My name's Zozo. There's actually a whole group of us living just back over the mountains. You should come live at our base with us.
Are you sure? I don't want to intrude.
Oh no, it would be great. We could train together and everything. I feel like I could learn a lot from you.
Well, alright. Show me the way.
We headed off back in the direction of the base. Once we arrived, I got right to work making her room. It was going to be awesome having such a tough mouse around. Soon, her room was complete. On days 40 to 43, I met Bella in the kitchen.
Hey Zozo, I'm going to go out and train. Do you want to come with?
That would be awesome. You can teach me all of your moves.
Right on. Just give me a second.
Bella went over to the crafting table and made herself a new purple hat. It was really cool. She was then ready to go, so we headed out. Back in the acacia forest, I watched as Bella took on a whole pack of wolves. I couldn't believe she wasn't even scared. The wolves were fighting their hardest, but Bella wasn't even breaking a sweat. Soon, she had defeated all of the wolves.
Zozo, why don't you hop in on this next one?
Another pack of wolves charged at us, and I hopped in.
I've got a tip for you. Instead of just hitting, jump into the air and hit them as you're coming down. You'll do even more damage than normal.
I gave it a try and she was right. I tried it on as many wolves as I could, and together we defeated them all, no problem. Later we were taking a break when I had a question to ask her. So, how come you train so hard? What makes you want to fight so much?
That's a good question. I wasn't always like this, but one day I met an old mouse woman in the middle of nowhere. She told me this story about a mouse who could grow in size and was really strong. I had been fighting mobs just before then and had grown in size a little myself. That was when I realized I had to be the one in the legend. I had to be the mouse of myth.
Really? I think I met the same mouse. I heard the exact same story. I couldn't believe that I might be the mouse of myth, though.
Well, that makes sense, though, because you're not. I knew without a doubt the legend was about me, and so I've dedicated myself to training in order to fulfill my destiny. You really thought you were the mouse of myth? That's cute. Come on, I'll race you back to the base.
Bella took off, but I couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. I mean, she was really talented, so it did make sense, but I was really starting to believe I might be the mouse of myth. We'd just have to see how everything played out. On days 44 to 49, I decided to get some more work done on the statue. I had collected a decent amount of materials for my last raid, so I got quite a bit done. I was even able to do the tail, which I thought turned out pretty good. I was taking a moment to look at how things had gone so far when the voles came running out.
Zozo, come quick. There's a human at the gate, and he's asking for you.
A human? You guys keep an eye out from above. This could mean trouble. I ran over to the gates, and sure enough, there was a human on the other side. But this human was dressed like a mailman. What do you want, human?
Don't you worry, little rat. I'm not here to cause you any trouble. Yet. I'm here with a message from all of us humans.
What could you thugs have to say to me?
We wrote it all down, but watch out. We know about your little base out here. We've seen you and your friends training too. We could destroy all of you if we wanted to, but we'll let it slide on one condition.
Yeah? And what's that?
Stop messing with our farms and stealing from us. Otherwise you and all your little rodents can say goodbye.
Okay, I'll agree to that on one condition. You let my mouse family and all other animals go.
They didn't tell me you had a sense of humor, but seriously, knock it off or we'll knock you out.
The human turned and walked off. Who do these humans think they are? It's time to teach them a real lesson. On days 50 to 53, Bella and I snuck up to the sheep farm I had been visiting. But this time, I saw they had built a huge wall around it. Looks like we inspired them to up their security, but I think I know how to beat that. Bella pulled out her shovel.
Shovel?
Shovel. Bella and I got right to work building a tunnel. I had been here enough times to know just where I needed to go to pop out under the sheep pen. We tunneled our way through and popped up right underneath them.
Holy sheep, where did you two come from?
Whoa, I didn't know you guys could talk. Sorry for dyeing you different colors and stealing your wool.
Are you serious? You're the only one who has been cutting our wool, and it's hot out here. You're doing us a favor.
Oh, well that's great to hear. You guys wouldn't happen to want to live at my base, would you?
We thought you'd never ask. The humans are the worst.
We all jumped into the tunnel and ran back out from under the wall. This was going to make the humans so mad. It was perfect. Back at the base, I got right to work building the sheep a nice farmhouse to live in. They didn't even have a roof over their heads before. This was going to be much better. Now we just needed to sit back and see how the humans would react. On days 54 to 57, I was down in the mines gathering some more materials. The humans would probably want to attack me at some point, so I needed to make some upgrades. Once I had collected everything I needed in the mines, I headed upstairs and went over to the crafting table. Using the obsidian I had gotten from the arena, I managed to put together an enchanting table. Time to really upgrade my gear. I went into the library and cleared out a space for the enchanting table. I surrounded the room with bookshelves and placed the table at the center of the room. Then I went through all of my gear and gave them different enchantments to make them stronger. I'm gonna be one tough mouse to beat now. I then went outside and got to work on the next part of the statue. This time it was all about the details, starting with a torch in its left hand. Then I got to work on a sword for the right hand. This was my favorite part of the build for sure. This statue is looking great. On days 58 to 62, I decided to make some more improvements to the base, starting with the bridge. I took down some of what I had done before, then began adding in some new railings and overhangs. As a final touch, I added in some hanging lanterns. Speaking of lanterns, I thought they looked quite a bit nicer than torches, so I went around the base and replaced all the torches with lanterns. I also added a doorbell. The least any invading human can do is ring the bell first. I then headed inside and cleared out a wall and added a window. Inside, I put some cushions and bookshelves to make a sitting room. The voles were really getting into their books, so I thought they'd enjoy the space. Later that evening, I was lounging in the sitting room with Bella.
I've just got to tell you, Zozo, you're a really great friend. To me, the voles, everyone you meet. And plus, this base looks amazing.
Thanks, Bella. That means a lot coming from you. On days 63 to 66, I heard someone ringing the doorbell and went out to take a look. Perched outside was the crane.
Good morning, sir. It would seem your next challenger is ready. He'll be even tougher than before, but the crowd has been begging to see you in action again. I think you really made an impression on them.
Okay, great. I'll be there. Later on, I was back at the arena. The gate opened and I stepped into the ring. The crowd was still in darkness, but they sounded excited to see me. Across the arena, I saw a honey badger had stepped in to face me. We squared off, and as soon as the bell was rung, we leapt into action. The crane was right. This honey badger was way stronger than my last fight, and his claws were really hurting. Sorry, but I've got a family to fight for. I thought about everything Bella had told me about and tried to put it into action. Once I started landing the more powerful blows, I could tell it was only a matter of time. Soon, the badger was defeated. The crowd went wild. I did it! Like before, emeralds started to drop from the ceiling, followed by some lapis, netherite ingots, and health potions. There was also a mythical potion, which said it could only be used by a mythical hero. Huh, I wonder what this is about. It's supposed to taste like bananas, too. I bet a monkey of legend would be into this. Just then, I noticed there were two small honey badgers crying on the other side of one of the gates. Hey, that wasn't your dad, was it?
No, our real dad was taken away by humans long ago, but that badger you just fought had agreed to take us in. He just needed to win the fight to get the resources to take care of us.
Oh wow, I'm so sorry. I had no idea he was also fighting for her family.
It's okay, he knew the risks. We know that you're just trying to rescue your family from the humans too. We're just tired of them ruining all of our lives.
You know what? Why don't you two come live in my base with me? There's all kinds of animals there who would love to be your family.
Wow, that would be amazing.
The two little badgers followed me back to our base. They were excited to finally have a place to call home. I went ahead and dug out a room for them to stay too. Who knows how long these two little guys had been looking for a home. On days 67 to 70, I headed out of the base. Things were really starting to come along. Where is everyone? I walked out and saw the voles were outside harvesting some wheat, but Bella was out there giving them commands. What is she doing? I headed down to talk to her. Hey, what are you doing? Telling everyone what to do.
Oh hey Zozo, I figured that since I was the Mouse of Myth, I should probably be the one calling the shots around here.
I don't really know why you keep saying you're the Mouse of Myth. There's not really any proof. For all you know, it's me.
Oh yeah? Well, if you were the Mouse of Myth, you'd already have the Frost Slayer sword.
The what?
Yeah, see? You don't even know what it is. Part of the legend is that the Mouse of Myth is able to get it from the Great Northern Tundra.
Well, you don't have it either. In fact, I'm going to get it right now.
Oh yeah? Not if I get it first.
Bella and I took off for the Great Northern Tundra. I would show her. We soon arrived, and boy was it cold. We were both so worried about getting there first, we ran right into a pack of polar bears. Uh-oh, we both fought hard to stay alive, but it was clear we couldn't fight them off fighting on our own. We changed our strategy and saw that by working together, we were able to take them all out. Oh, Bella, what are we doing? We're going to get ourselves into some serious trouble if we don't work together.
You're right. We're being really hasty. How about this? We both work together to get the sword. Once we get there, we can just see who the sword chooses. It's not really up to us who the Mouse of Myth is, anyway.
Exactly. All right, let's go get that sword. On day 71 to 74, Bella and I continued deeper into the tundra. As we traveled through the ice spikes, we soon came across a dungeon. This must be the place. No matter what happens, we'll still be friends. Deal?
Deal.
Bella and I ran down the stairs and into the dungeon. It's full of water. How are we going to get through? Just then, we noticed some levers at the top of the stairs.
These must control the platforms down there. Here, you go down and I'll work these levers.
I ran down by the water as Bella started flipping switches. After hitting the first one, a platform came out of the wall. I jumped over to it. Bella continued hitting the switches and more platforms came out of the wall. I had some close calls jumping between them, but eventually I made it to the next passageway. Hang on a second, there's a lever in here. Let me hit it and see what it does. I flipped the switch and a shortcut opened up for Bella. She hopped down.
Nice hopping. Let's see what else is in here.
We kept going down the hallway when suddenly a bunch of poison snowballs came flying out of the wall, hitting us. Ouch, those really hurt. There was a small passageway, so we ducked through there to heal up.
Zozo, I have to be honest with you.
What is it?
I know I'm really confident all the time, but the truth is, I'm not sure if I'm actually the Mouse of Myth. The old mouse woman had just told me a story so specific, I felt like it had to be me.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. But you know what we haven't considered yet?
What's that?
Maybe she was just making the whole thing up to trick mice like us to take on the humans.
You know what? You're probably right. As if we didn't have enough reason to want to fight them. I guess we'll find out soon enough anyway.
I agreed. That's when I noticed something odd about the box we were next to. Hey, is there something in this? We looked inside and saw there was a fancy new helmet inside. My diamond helmet was still in good shape, so I let Bella take it. We decided to keep pushing on and ran out into the snowballs. We took some hits, but made it through. We soon entered a big room that was full of bad guys. We sprang into action, fighting them off. Some of them cast magic spells that dropped explosive ice blocks on us. They were really tough, but nothing could break the power of our friendship. We quickly cleared the room. I think this might be the last room up ahead. Let's finish this together. On day 75 to 78, we stepped into a large room where a snow troll was standing in the center of the room. But look what he was standing in front of. The frost layer, I can see it.
Let's get that troll out of our way.
Bella and I sprinted in, swinging our weapons as hard as we could. This guy was unbelievably strong. His blows did a lot of damage, and no matter how hard we hit him, it seemed like he wasn't even hurt. This guy is crazy. I don't know if we can beat him. Our health was dropping fast too. Maybe neither of us was the Mouse of Myth, and it was all going to end here. But just then, I had an idea. Bella, follow my lead. Hey, Dum-Dum, over here! We took off running, and he followed us over by one of the support pillars. He swung his stone column at me, but I jumped out of the way, causing him to hit the support pillar. There was a crack, and suddenly, the whole pillar fell over, smashing the troll.
Zozo, that was brilliant. Go on, you can grab the sword first.
I stepped up and took a hold of the sword. Suddenly, nothing happened. It was just a normal sword. There's nothing special about this sword. Here, I tossed the sword over to Bella, who picked it up.
You're right, this is just like holding any other sword. That legend must not be true. Otherwise, only one of us could have held this.
True, or maybe it's just about anyone. No one is born the Mouse of Myth. You become it by trying. Suddenly, there was a rumbling sound, and the roof started to cave in. Without the support column, we were all in danger. We ran as fast as we could and made it out of the room just in time. On days 79 to 84, we had made it back to the base and settled back in for the night. The next day, I had a lot of work to do. I started by doubling the size of our farm so everyone would have plenty to eat. Then I got busy putting in a path around it. This was going to be much easier to navigate. Then I went over and put together an archery range for the squirrels. They had been really helpful when the zombies had attacked, so I wanted to give them an even better training ground. Nice shooting, guys. If humans show up here, they aren't going to know what hit them. The Volts had also mentioned to me how they were reading all about gardening and wanted to try their hand at maintaining a garden. So I put in a small garden for them to manage as well.
Yeah, we better get the pruners out. These roses are already looking a little wild. And keep a close eye on those poppies. I'd hate to see them fall to the weeds.
With so many animals around, the outdoors were starting to get a little untidy, so I made a small storage shack for us to stash all of our odds and ends. Part of these improvements was also getting a better space for us to improve our weapons and armor, so I built a smithy area for us to do everything we needed to do. I thought it turned out pretty nice. With the new smithy, I took some time to fix up all of my diamond gear, as Bella fired up the blast furnace to make improvements to her equipment too. Then I headed inside to the smithing table, where I used all of the netherite I had won in the arena to upgrade my diamond gear to netherite. Then I brought the new gear over to the enchanting table, where I enchanted all of my netherite equipment. I'm going to be one unstoppable mouse now! And finally, our last project was upgrading our walls, which the Voles offered to help with. At this point, our humble little rat base was becoming a full-on castle. We gave the walls major upgrades and even built a large tower. On days 85 to 89, the Vole came running into my room with a warning.
Zozo, the humans are outside the walls. Come quickly.
I hurried and ran to the walls and could see a small army of humans were preparing to charge, but the squirrels were in position and ready to fire. Hold steady, guys. Here they come. The humans began to charge as the squirrels unleashed their arrows. Their training had paid off, and they were deadly shots. Several humans fell as they ran toward the base. It's working. The humans had lost many of their soldiers and started to run away. Yeah, nice job, everyone. They aren't tough at all. What I didn't realize was that this was just a decoy. A powerful warrior had scaled the mountain behind us and jumped into our base. What was that? I turned and saw a warrior standing in the courtyard. He said nothing as he stared up at me. Charge! I leapt into action, swinging my sword. But if there was anything I had learned, it was that friends are stronger together. Bella came running out of the base, followed by the Voles. The squirrels started shooting arrows down as well. Even with our combined power, though, it was quite the fight. Keep going, everyone. We can defeat this guy. The warrior was strong, and his armor was hard to crack. Eventually, we managed to knock him over the cliff as he landed in the water. We kept on him, and I swung my new Frostslayer sword with all my might. At long last, he was finally defeated. We did it. The humans will never take our land, and they certainly won't take our freedom. Suddenly, I felt strength coming into me, and I leveled up, gaining 8 more hearts. We will never be conquered. On days 90 to 94, I ran into Bella in the lobby, but she looked really sad. Bella, what's wrong? I thought you'd be excited after our successful fight.
I am excited about our win, but I'm just really down about this Mouse of Myth stuff. I mean, I dedicated my entire life believing I was fulfilling my destiny, but it's looking more like it was all a lie.
You know what? I think we should go talk to that old mouse woman. Even if it's all a lie, you can at least be at peace, knowing the truth. Bella agreed, and we headed out. We soon arrived back at the old woman's house. I told Bella to stay back while I knocked on the door. As the old woman came out, she was excited to see me.
Oh, look who it is. Could it be our very own Mouse of Myth?
Cut it, lady. We came here to find out the truth.
We?
Just then, Bella jumped up, which caught the old woman by surprise.
We? Why did you tell both of us the same legend? Is there a Mouse of Myth or not? Okay. The truth is that I made it all up.
Why would you do that? That lie nearly destroyed our friendship.
Oh, I'm sorry. I never would have wanted that. The humans have been messing with mice for decades, and no one ever seemed brave enough to stand up to them. I just thought if I made up a story, I might be able to inspire someone to actually do it. They took my family years ago, and I've always wanted revenge.
Well, I suppose there are worse things to lie about. We do want to teach them a lesson, and are actually strong enough to do something about it after all. Bella agreed, and we had a nice chat with the old woman about her family. She sounded lonely living out here, so I invited her to stay at the base with us. She agreed, but on one condition. We had to rebuild her house exactly the same. I took some time to take down her house so that we'd have all the right pieces. Then later, back at the base, I reconstructed it so it would be exactly how it was before. She was delighted to have a familiar but safe place to stay. On days 95 to 97, I walked out of the base to see the crane waiting for me.
Oh, good morning again, sir. I know you've got your hands full, but your next challenger is ready for you. The crowd has said that they wish to see you fight once more. I'm sure they will make it worth your while.
Well, one more round of upgrades before we fight the humans would be nice. Okay, I'll do it. The crane nodded before flying up and away. Later that day, I arrived back at the arena entrance, ready for my fight. I entered in and headed back into the arena. As the gate opened on the other side, I was shocked to see who it was. Bella, what are you doing here?
It's okay, Zozo. We don't have to fight to the death. I've been doing these fights too so that I can train. Come on, it'll be a fun training exercise. We can see who is actually the strongest.
Well, alright. I don't know if the crowd will like it, but obviously I don't want either of us to be eliminated.
Of course not. Bring it on.
Bella and I charged at each other. We weren't planning on taking each other out, but neither of us were holding back. The crowd was going absolutely crazy. Bella, is this too much? Maybe we should stop.
No, listen to them. They're loving it. We've got to give them a good show if we want them to still pay out at the end.
It didn't feel right to me, but we kept fighting on. Bella was such an amazing fighter, but she had taught me all of her moves. I landed a really hard hit, and Bella backed off.
Oh, okay. I think we need to stop there. Nice hit, Zozo.
Yeah, of course. You really had me on the ropes. Once the crowd realized what was happening, they started to boo. I could hear the crane's voice coming from the stands.
Zozo, what are you waiting for? Finish her off.
What? No, she's my friend.
Fine, but people came here expecting a finale, and I'm going to give it to them.
Just then, the crane dropped in from the darkness, finishing off Bella. What have you done? The animals watching are going to support me against you.
You mean these animals?
I looked at the balcony and saw that the crowd had stepped closer, revealing themselves to be humans. I couldn't believe the crane had been working for them this whole time. I could feel my blood beginning to boil, and in my rage, I grew into a large, ferocious rat. You're gonna pay for that! I charged at the crane, hitting him again and again, defeating him in no time. I could hear the humans laughing as one of them shouted for the guards. The gate opened and a bunch of human guards came running in. Get out of my way! The guards thought they could stop my rampage, but I was way too angry. I swung my sword with all my might and quickly took them all out. I could tell the humans watching were starting to get nervous. Don't think that you're getting away either. With my new strength, I jumped from the arena into the balcony and started to attack. They didn't realize who they were messing with. I managed to take several of them out as they tried to run away. Enough is enough. I've got to end this. I jumped back into the arena and ran out of the building. On day 98, I had made it back to my base, and my rage had turned to sadness. I couldn't believe Bella was gone. As I looked at the statue, I wanted to do something nice to remember her. Atop the mouse statue, I took some time to add the same hat that Bella had worn when we first met. She had always said it was one of her favorites. That night, I was looking at the statue when suddenly Bella appeared in front of me.
Zozo, thank you for dedicating this statue to me. I want you to know that everything is okay.
But it was never supposed to be like this. We were supposed to take down the humans together.
I know, but the truth is, I don't think you need me. I've spent a lot of time thinking about the Mouse of Myth. The old woman may have made it up, but in doing so, she also made it come true. You have become the Mouse of Myth, and I'm so proud to have been your friend.
I shed a tear and thanked her for everything she had taught me. I felt like it was finally time to fulfill my destiny. It was time to save my family and the world. On day 99, I met with all of my friends in our base. Okay guys, it's time. If any of you want to stay behind, you can. No one will hold it against you. No one said a word. They were ready to fight. Very well, get geared up. We attack at nightfall. Before leaving, I ran over to the chest and grabbed the mythical potion, as well as the health potions I had gotten earlier. The team regrouped in the lobby, and we headed out for the humans' base. On my way out, I paused to look at the mouse statue. I could feel Bella was with us. We soon reached the gates to the humans' town, but how are we going to get in?
Don't worry, guys. I know just what to do.
The Vol slipped through a small hole in the side of the guard tower, popping out inside of the base. He ran over to the lever and flipped it, letting us all in. Nice going! Let's get him! We stormed into the base, running into a couple of humans. All together, we took them out with ease. Off in the distance, I could see the farmer. This time, he was geared up to fight.
There they are, Bosco. Take them out. Bosco?
Bosco attacked his owner, taking him out. Then he ran over to us.
You've had me thinking more than I have in my whole life. These humans have been so mean to other animals, and I can't be part of it. I'm here to help.
With Bosco now on our team, we charged into the streets. There were several humans geared up to fight, but they weren't ready for us. We all unleashed our attacks, knocking them out of our way. Keep going, guys, we're doing great! We kept fighting through the streets and soon came upon a mansion in the middle of town. This had to be where my family was being kept. We charged the doors and quickly took out the guards. But how are we going to get in?
Hang on, folks. I'll get us in there somehow.
The vole started sniffing around and soon found another hole on the side of the building. He crawled through, dropping into a library maze.
Good thing I got into reading. I just have to follow the titles back to A, and then I'll be back at the front.
Using the authors as his guide, the vole wove through the maze until he noticed a hole.
Nice, a shortcut.
He popped out and flipped the switch, letting us all inside. Just then, there was a sound in the town, and we could see the whole army was coming for us.
Quick, Zozo, go. We can hold them off.
Yeah, man, your family needs you.
You guys are the best. I will see you soon. I ran into the basement as the rest of my friends stayed back. As I entered the basement, I could see it was filled with animals, including my mouse family. Remy, it's me. We've got to get you guys out of here.
Zozo, I can't believe it. Look how big and strong you are.
Just then, I heard the gate slam and hurried back up the stairs.
Well, if it isn't the rat that got away, I should have captured you when I had the chance.
You are just the worst. No monologues. I jumped into action, swinging my sword. Where had all my friends gone? Did he hurt them? I didn't have too long to think about it though, as he was really starting to hurt me. My health was dropping, and so my only option was to run away and heal up.
What's wrong? Too afraid to fight?
I had just gotten my health restored when the human caught up to me.
I was going to keep you as a pet, but something like you is too powerful to be kept alive.
We kept fighting, but I was starting to lose hope. He was too strong. I hurried and ran up the stairs to the roof to heal some more, hiding around the corner.
Come out, little mousy. I just want to talk.
This human had been the cause of so many problems. He had destroyed and captured so many of my friends. He was going to pay. I took out the mythical potion. If I'm truly the mouse of myth, this will help me. I drank the potion down and felt a powerful surge of energy. I gained more hearts and felt even stronger than before. It had worked. It was time to end this.
What the? How can a little rat become so powerful? What is this?
This is what happens when you mess with a guy's friends, his family, his world. The human had backed up against the edge.
No, okay, surely we can work something out.
Nope, it's over. I lunged forward and knocked him off the roof, sending him falling to the ground below. He's gone, but where are my friends? On day 100, I heard a shout as all of my friends came running over the bridge. It turned out they had pushed the soldiers all the way back into the town and defeated them. I made my way back into the dungeon and finally released my family, along with all the other animals. We laughed and we cried. It had been too long. Back at the base, everyone celebrated. Even all the way from Mousy Heaven, I felt like I could hear Bella jumping for joy. Our fight was finally over.
On day 1, I spawned as a baby Hoglin. Oh, I'm pretty adorable. But I only had 3 hearts. I was small, but I had a super strong sense of smell. I could smell everything I was seeing. Whoa! Great rivers of fire. I'm in the nether. Cool. Oh, look, there's a group of Hoglins. That must be my family. I went over to them. They were nice and shared their crimson fungi with me. Life couldn't have been better. That is until a hungry illager came looking for some bacon.
Run for cover, little Zozo. We'll take care of this. You're too small for battle.
But I want to stay and fight.
Leave it to the real warriors, you shroom sniffer.
Bebop, knock it off. He just likes to pick on other Hoglins. He's a bit of a bully. You will join us one day, but not today. You must grow bigger first. Now hurry, before they turn you into lunch.
Sir, yes, sir. I ran as fast as my little hooves could go when suddenly I was covered in purple smoke. I had no clue what was happening. Suddenly, I was dropped near a river in a green field with blue skies. This didn't look anything like my home. Where am I? I looked around and saw a squirrel with sunglasses on.
Bro, you just dropped out of the sky. For real, for real.
I don't know where I am. This isn't the nether.
No, little dude, this is the overworld. You must have gone through a portal or something. All I know, bro, is it got all purpley and then poof, there you were, dude.
I was so confused. I didn't know what the squirrel was saying, and I didn't know how I got into the overworld.
Whoa, bro, something's up.
I started to see red, blinking red. I felt weird. Something was happening to me. I was changing.
You're going zombie, my dude.
Zombie? The blinking red stopped, and I could tell my whole body looked different. You could see my bones, and my mane had gone flat. Oh no, I'm a ZOGLIN now. What will my family think? How will they want me back now? I guess it's kind of cool to be a zombie.
100%, my dude. It's the gnarly bones for me.
Well, any ideas what I should do now?
My guess is to find a portal to take yourself home. I bet you could find one in the forest. Just be careful out there, little guy. Here, take this.
He handed me a potion of strength.
Only use it when you're really in a jam. Good luck, bro. I gotta go gather my nuts I dropped when you popped out of the sky.
Thank you, Mr.
Call me Squeaks.
Thanks, Squeaks. It was nice to meet a cool squirrel like you. He hopped away and I started towards the forest, passing by a river. My thoughts were suddenly interrupted by a shark that popped out of the river behind me. Luckily, I jumped out of the way just in time. Someone was feeling bitey today. I then continued making my way into the forest. On day 2, I wandered through the forest to find a portal. I wasn't sure where to go next, but that's when I remembered my nose never failed me. Even though I was a zombie, my nose was just as powerful. I took a whiff around. That's an interesting smell. I followed my nose to a llama eating some berries. I decided to ask her if she had seen the portal, but she just ignored me. Hey, I'm talking to you. The llama turned and spit right in my snout. Okay, you're asking for some drama, llama. I wasn't going to let her get away with spitting in my face. I ran at her full speed and attacked. Unfortunately, I was too weak to do any damage. I didn't even have a weapon.
Oh, how sad. Why don't you cry? Wee, all the way home, little Zoglin. You're much too small to be on your own.
Really cool picking on someone smaller than you. Listen, I'd love to go home, but my home is in the Nether, and I can't get home without a portal.
Oh, the Nether. I heard they have great crimson fungi there.
Yeah, they do. I pulled out a crimson fungi and flashed it at her.
Okay, kid, fine. I'll tell you where a portal is if you let me have that.
How do I know you aren't lying?
You'll just have to trust me.
You spit in my face, and you want me to trust you? Tell you what, I'll give you one now and one later if you take me to the portal. She thought it over and finally agreed to the deal.
The last portal I saw was up ahead at a waterfall.
I threw her a mushroom and she chomped down on it.
A little spicy with some smoky flavor. I like it. All right, come on, follow me.
On day 3, we came to a clearing, and up ahead was a glistening waterfall against a big cliff.
There it is. The portal is up ahead. This is where we part. Time to hand over the other half of that mushroom.
I handed her the rest of my mushroom, and she gulped it down.
You know, kid, you're not so bad.
You're not so bad yourself, llama. Thank you for showing me the way.
Well, let's not get all mushy. Good luck, and try not to get in any more trouble.
The llama trotted off into the forest, and I headed towards the waterfall. It was so beautiful that I forgot to pay attention to my surroundings. Out popped a snake from the long grass. Mind if I slither on by? I guess the snake did mind. The snake was trying to strike me, but I was determined to get to the portal. I didn't have a weapon, but I had my tusks, and I was bigger than the snake. I hit him good and hard, knocking him out. Your history, snake. As he disappeared, I saw he left behind eggs. Oh, nice. I better hold on to these. The portal was just up ahead. I could see it now. Unfortunately, I could also see a pack of wolves. Please, I don't want any trouble. I just need to get back home through that portal. I can pay you in eggs?
The Horned Enderman has commanded all Zoglins to be taken to him. You're coming with us.
Just then, a bunch of skulls came shooting at the pack of wolves. The wolves backed up, but stayed close, guarding the portal.
Come with me if you wish to live.
This dude was a little creepy looking. I'm sorry, who and what are you?
I'm a wither. My name is Smithers. Now come on, those wolves are going to try and take you to the Horned Enderman. We have to get you out of here.
I have no clue what you're talking about, but I don't want to be eaten by wolves. So yeah, let's go. On days 4 to 5, I followed Smithers into the shadows of the jungle.
You need to make some weapons, little Zoglin. Now's a good time. After that, I have a quest for you. I need you to find the Mushroom Field Islands. Only a special hoglin can find them.
But I'm trying to get home. I need to get to the portal.
If you find these islands, I will help get you home. For now, all the portals are being guarded. I think you are the Zoglin the Horned Enderman is searching for.
Me? You got the wrong Zog. I'm just your average ham.
Yeah, you might not be special, but we shall see.
How will I know the way to the Mushroom Island?
Follow your nose. If you really are the chosen one, you will have extra strong smelling powers.
With that, Smithers flew away. It left me with a million questions. And what was that about smelling powers? I always had a good nose, but no, I couldn't be the one they were looking for. One thing was for sure, I needed to be able to defend myself. I started mining wood, stone, and coal. Then I made myself a crafting table. After that, I made a bow, an axe, a sword, and a pickaxe. Take a look at me now. All will tremble before me. Just as I was really getting into being dramatic, I caught the scent of something nearby. I wasn't alone. I looked up and noticed eyes staring back at me. An ocelot jumped down from the tree. He crouched, getting ready to pounce. Easy, little kitty. You wouldn't want to eat me. I'm rotten and don't taste good. But the truth was, I was scared. Those claws were no joke. How would I ever be able to win this fight? Oh wait, the potion! I quickly pulled out my potion of strength that Squeak gave me and drank it. I grew a little bigger and got extra hearts. It's a good thing I met that weird squirrel. The ocelot pounced as I tried to get out of the way. We kept swinging at each other until I was able to push him out of the way. Luckily, I noticed that there were some arrows nearby. I guess an explorer left them here. I hurried and got on my bow and then started firing. It didn't take too many hits and I was able to take him out. So much for cats having 9 lives. Just then, my nose picked up a different scent on the tree. Cocoa pods. Oh, these would be great for making a color or a snack for later. It was then that I could hear a crunching sound coming from somewhere in the jungle. I decided to follow the sound. I rounded some trees and saw a thicket of bamboo. It wouldn't be a bad idea to collect some of that. The crunching continued and I soon saw a panda relaxing on the ground, enjoying some bamboo. I hope he wouldn't mind if I took some for myself. Hey there, I'm Zozo. Could I take some of that bamboo? The panda looked up at me and shrugged, then went back to munching. Sweet, that was easy. It was definitely a relief to come across an adorable animal that didn't want to attack me. I mined a good portion of the bamboo, but made sure to leave some for the panda. I was very excited about my new supplies. Goodbye, Mr. Panda. Thanks for the bamboo. On days 6 to 8, I decided I liked the jungle so much that I'd take a couple days to go jungle glamping. After all, who knew if that wither was even trustworthy? The mushroom fields could wait. I sniffed around for a good spot and went to sleep in a cavern. Later, I woke up and decided to explore some more. Hey, check it out, a wild patch of pumpkins. I'm pumped. This would be a cool spot to build my glamping base with my bamboo. I'm thinking a yurt would be cool. I even found some melon seeds while cutting down plants. I trotted happily to the patch and began to make my jungle yurt. This would be a great little place to sleep and hide from mobs. Once I had the outside done, I put some finishing touches inside, including some jungle plants. Then I put a little fence around the pumpkin farm, melon farm, and my yurt. I also built a small melon and pumpkin farm outside. Yurt, sweet yurt. Ouch! Something had just hit me. A monkey was in a tree. It was throwing stuff at me. Hey, knock it off!
As you wish. I'll knock all the blocks off your little house thingy.
It's a yurt, you uncultured baboon. Now stop! The monkey didn't stop. He just wanted to be naughty and aggravate me. Alright, enough monkey business. I grabbed my bow and fired a warning shot. The monkey screeched and swung off the tree. Hopefully he had learned his lesson. With the monkey gone, I could focus on some much-needed dinner. Pumpkin chocolate bean cookies sounded good. I'd better hurry. It was getting late and mobs would be showing up. I crafted the cookies and went outside to enjoy the mood. Hey, this is pretty peaceful. It's just me, the trees, these pumpkins, and that horned enderman over there. A horned enderman! A very tall horned enderman was staring at me from outside the fence.
Well, hello, little Zoglin, without a care. I am the horned enderman. No need to fear.
You're that evil enderman trying to capture all the Zoglins, and you probably are the one who teleported me here.
I searched for the perfect Zoglin, but as for this teleportation, that is the wrong accusation.
You're very poetic for an evil jerk.
And you are very cheeky for a Zog who is not very beefy. You are coming with me. Do not try and flee.
Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. There's nothing that won't make me win. Oh, look at that. He even got me rhyming. I whipped out my bow and shot at him, but he teleported and suddenly was right next to me. I pulled out my sword and tried to attack him with that, but it was no use. The enderman punched me so hard that I was stunned. There was no way I could do anything to fight this guy. Just as I lost all hope, the enderman was hit with a big rock in the head. Something kept hitting the enderman with all sorts of objects. Eventually he got fed up and teleported away. There was that crazy monkey sitting on the roof of my yurt. Whoa, you saved me. You chased the enderman away by being annoying. Most impressive. I think we started off on the wrong foot. Would you like some pumpkin cookies? The monkey liked that idea and threw a banana at my head playfully.
Aren't you glad I didn't throw a rock?
What a silly monkey. I'm glad he decided to come back after all. Soon the monkey left and I went to sleep. On days 9 to 10, I thought I'd sniff around to see if the mushroom field was anywhere nearby. I set off around the jungle. I didn't smell mushroom fields, but I did smell a village nearby. I figured I could sniff it out. Maybe there would be some shops. I exited the jungle and kept sniffing and walking until I finally found a village. I walked into the village and all the villagers were looking at me. They didn't seem too excited about me being there. I walked into a shop and the shopkeeper didn't want to sell me anything. He said Zoglins were dangerous to have around because it might bring the horned enderman's cronies around. Man, this enderman is ruining everything for me. I was about to leave the village when a chicken went flapping past me. The villagers were upset. They chased the chicken around, but it got away and ran out of the village.
She is gone. The heavenly hen has left us. We will be cursed.
Hey, maybe I can help.
You? What are you going to do besides bring the horned enderman around these parts?
I've got a very sharp-smelling nose. I can follow her scent and track her down.
Very well. Find the heavenly hen.
Okay, but if I do, I get to pick some things out of your shops for free, okay?
Fine. Whatever you want. Please hurry. And whatever you do, don't look her in the eyes. And don't threaten her, or you will regret it.
Okay, that's strange, but fine, I won't. I had seen some really cool armor in the shop, but I probably couldn't afford it, so this was a good deal for me. I headed back towards the jungle to find the chicken. On days 11 to 13, I trotted toward the jungle mountains. I climbed up a hill covered in foliage. It was kind of hard to see, so I started chopping down some of the jungle leaves. Whoa! Oof! The leaves were so thick, I didn't see the quarry below my feet. Oh no, I disturbed a nest of scorpions. Yuck, these guys were nasty. I'm in a real pinch. I tried to tell them that I meant no harm, but they were not going to leave me alone. I did not want to get stung. I swung my sword to get them to back off. Yikes, that was a close one. I jumped above them and pulled my bow out, hitting a few of them. I wanted to just get out of there, but the problem was, I smelled the chicken down there. Maybe she got eaten, but it was just then that I saw a mine shaft below. Maybe the chicken had hidden inside there. I'd have to take these guys out. One by one, I finished them off, except for one. It was gold, and turned out to not be a scorpion at all. It was a scorpion-sized gold statue. I decided to enter the mine shaft and check the statue out. On day 14 to 16, I was inside the mine shaft and had a smell around. It didn't just smell like chicken, there was something else too. Oh, jackpot, so many resources, but most importantly, iron. Something was a little creepy about this place. Okay, Zozo, ignore the creepy feeling and just keep mining, just keep mining. After that amazing song, I created a crafting table and furnaces to smelt the iron I just collected. I had enough iron that I could craft myself some iron armor and tools really quick. Something told me I was going to need it. I continued deeper into the cave to find the chicken. Hold up, what's that? I pulled my axe out. It was a spider. But wait, it was another gold statue. What is going on here? I just need to find this chicken and get the creep out of here. Soon enough, from the shadows, crawled a mob of spiders. I knew my spidey senses were tingling. They weren't deterred. They just kept coming. One of the spiders hit me good. It was a big hit. I swung around like crazy and finished off all of the spiders. He left behind a bunch of webs, a crafting table, an iron sword, and some arrows and a slime ball. I guess some explorers must have left in a hurry. I collected them all and made a lead out of some of them. I kept walking down into the cave and eventually saw some lava. Across from the lava was that crazy chicken. You are lucky you aren't fried chicken by now. The chicken stared at me with angry eyes. My body felt weird. I suddenly remembered what the villager said about not staring at the chicken in its eyes. I tried not to look directly at it and started making a bridge across the lava over to the chicken. Listen, Miss Hen, I'm just trying to help you. I've got some cookies for you. I'll give you some if you follow me out of here. She didn't say anything because she was a chicken, but I assumed she was okay with this. She ate them and then followed me across my bridge. Well, that worked out. Come on, let's get you home. Everyone is worried about you. On days 17 to 19, we had made it out of the cave and were on our way back through the jungle when the ground under my feet felt funny. It was so soft and squishy. Then I realized I was sinking. It was blue quicksand. Help! The chicken just stared at me blankly. She was no help.
Quack, what's wrong?
It was a group of parrots. I'm sinking.
Quack, what are you thinking about?
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay, might have been about to die, but that was pretty punny. Nice one.
Thanks, we have been working on the stand-up routine.
Neat. Well, I'm thinking about how I need help getting out of here.
We have this sinking feeling you are in some real trouble, but what can be done?
Do you think you could pull me out of this quicksand with my lead? The quicksand had almost swallowed me up by this point.
Sure thing, hand us the lead.
They were able to pull me out just in time. Phew, that was a close one. Thank you for saving my life.
No problem.
I was just escorting this chicken home.
Quack, quack, what chicken?
I looked around and the hen was gone again. Oh no! I told the parrots thank you, but had to run off to find her. I followed my nose. She was close, but so was an ocelot. Look out, chicken! The chicken stared at the ocelot with angry eyes. I took out my sword, but before I could do anything, the ocelot turned to solid gold. Did you do that, Miss Hen? I can see why you're so special now. She pecked at the ground. Come on, let's get you back home. On days 20 to 22, a fox was watching us run back to the village and tried to cut us off. Sorry, fox. Trust me, you don't want this chicken for dinner. I ran at him and punted him into the sky. I knew I was doing him a favor, better than dealing with Gold Winger over here. We made it back to the village and the villagers were super stoked. I was super stoked about picking out some items from the shop.
Our sacred hen has returned. What is your name, Sir Zoglin?
Zozo.
3 cheers for Sir Zozo.
Shucks, I just followed my nose. At the shop, I picked out diamond armor and some TNT. Mission accomplished. With my swanky new treasures in hand, I was ready to go back to my yurt. On the outside of the village, I was stopped by an iron golem who offered me a puppy. He told me his name was Geo. He was a super nice guy. I told him I had to get back to my yurt before it got much later. As I came out to my yurt, it had already gotten dark. Oh, just fantastic. My yurt is swarming with creepers and red-eyed spiders. It's a jungle out here. Time to test out this armor and explosives. The mob saw me and started coming for me, so I ran into the trees. I set the TNT on the ground and then punched it, running for my life. As the mobs came by, the TNT exploded. It didn't kill them all, but it took out a lot. I handled the rest of them with my weapons. With the mobs gone, I trotted back to my yurt. I checked on my melons. They were growing well. I'd harvest them tomorrow and then set out to find that mushroom island, or field, whatever you want to call it. On day 23 to 26, I woke up and went outside. To my surprise, Geo was standing around my garden. Hey there, Geo. How did you find me?
Geo here, big boo. Geo come to save Zozo.
That's super nice of you. I tested out some TNT on some mobs. Sorry to worry you. I explained to Geo that I had to go on a mission to find a mushroom island. Geo insisted on accompanying me. He said he could help protect me from the horned enderman. I agreed, then harvested my melons and pumpkins. I took a bite of the melons and it helped me to grow some more. Ooh, check out these tusks. Then I went inside to get some more materials. After that, we were ready to set off. My nose led us out of the jungle and across some icy plains and glaciers. There were a lot of polar bears. I was relieved Geo decided to join me because there's no way I'd be able to fend them off by myself. When some of them wanted to give us trouble, we gave them trouble right back. Geo was able to fling them up like pancakes. Hey Geo, wanna build a snowman? I decided I might as well mine some snow while I was there. It might come in handy. I threw together some snow and a pumpkin head to make a snow golem. Geo clapped excitedly.
Snow friend, snow friend.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to you, Ice Golem. My name is Zozo. This is Geo. What's your name?
Burr.
Burr, huh? That checks out.
Play with Burr.
Sure, we can take some time to play. Hey, I know. What if we build a snow fort out of snow?
Play.
Burr, play.
I made a little snow fort and we had a snowball fight. It was very fun, but Geo was a little too strong and hit Burr too hard, and he poofed into a giant pile of snowballs. Don't worry, Geo. Snowmen don't last forever anyways. We collected his snowballs and added them to our supply. At least he could always be with us now. In a weird sort of way. On days 27 to 31, we wandered to the seaside. The smell of Mushroom Island was super strong. I was led to the seashore. We looked out and saw an island with funny red trees. I think that's it, Geo. Now to get over there. I crafted a boat, but it wasn't big enough for Geo to come with me, so Geo agreed to hang out on shore until I came back. As I sailed closer, I realized the red trees were actually giant mushrooms. I started to drool. Someone was on the island already. It was Smithers.
You found me. You truly are the chosen one. Only a Zoglin with the strongest sniffer can find this secret place.
Why does the Enderman want me?
I will explain everything. Let's show you around first.
I ran around the island exploring its resources. This ground was so spongy and bouncy. Oh, look, cows. Wait, those are mushrooms. That gave me an idea. A huge statue would be pretty cool in this field. I gathered up some supplies and started working on the first part of the statue. The cocoa beans would also be perfect for some brown dye. I'd want some red though too. I'd need to get some red flowers on the mainland. Smithers showed me the base he had made. It was a nice little cube. You know, Smithers, this is awesome, but are you okay with me doing some renovations? Just so it's big enough for all of us, including some of my friends I've met along the way.
I mean, this is already a pretty elaborate cube, but okay, I'm cool with it.
Great, I'll start tomorrow. On day 32 to 35, I decided to make the base look like a giant red mushroom with spots. I wonder what gave me that idea. First, I'd need to make the stem. It would be a staircase, and then I could make the top a big mushroom-shaped room with a loft above that for bedrooms. We'd have a nice view of the island while we hung out in the base, and we could keep an eye out for danger too. I wandered around the main area inside. There's so mushroom in here. Get it? Mushroom? Mushroom?
You should stick to sniffing and leave jokes to someone else.
I can't please everyone. Outside, I created an awning for Geo to stand under and keep watch. Our base was ready for action. On day 36 to 39, I went back to shore to get Geo. Once on land, he and I mined some flowers and some other things for the base and statue. I smelled something familiar. Hey, I smell another Zoglin. I wanted to follow the scent, so we went looking. I had to see if they were okay. I followed my nose to a pillager base. A fire was roasting, and there sat a Zoglin chained up to a log. The pillager was humming and wandering around the yard. We walked up to the hut. Excuse me, but what are you planning to do with that Zoglin? The pillager nearly jumped out of his skin. He hadn't seen us sneaking up on him.
Geo, kill pillager.
Have at it, Geo.
Geo, smash.
That pillager didn't stand a chance against Geo. Wow, nice going, Geo. And look, there's an emerald on the ground now. I picked it up and put it in my supplies, then walked over to the Zoglin. Hey, my name is Zozo. I could smell you from miles away. I'm here to rescue you.
Thank you. My name is Hogatha. The Horned Enderman sold me his dinner because I wasn't the Zoglin he was looking for.
That's rough. I told Hogatha how to find my base and invited her to meet us up there. She liked that idea. There were voices in the distance. A mob of pillagers came into view. We better get out of here. We don't need that kind of trouble.
Yep, time to run. I'll find you later. Good luck.
On days 40 to 43, I was back at the base, and Geo and Hogatha had joined us. Hogatha added some grass around the base. It was looking pretty gnarly. I went over to the statue and kept adding to it. Things were coming together for this epic statue, but it wasn't done yet. Do you know what it's going to be? I'll have to keep working on it later. Smithers called me into the base meeting room to finally tell me all about what's been going on with this Horned Enderman dude.
It all began with greed.
I could tell a flashback was coming because the music got all dramatic.
Flashback.
Called it.
The Horned Enderman had been taking over the overworld, enslaving and destroying. He seeks to control this world, and the Nether too. Everyone is afraid of him. He summoned the Witches of Fate. He asked them to reveal the location of a weapon called the Black Trident. It was powerful enough to raise up an army of the undead. They didn't tell him the location. We only know it's somewhere in the ocean. They did give him a prophecy of a Zoglin with a powerful enough nose to sniff out the location of this weapon. But they also said that this Zoglin could be his undoing. I believe that Zoglin is you. I know this because I was there. I was part of the Horned Enderman's close advisors. But I couldn't stand by any longer and see him destroying so many lives. I deserted him and went in search for you myself. We can't let him find that Dark Trident.
I would never lead him to it. If you can get me home, you won't be able to use me.
Fate has brought you here, my boy. You must give in to your destiny. And your destiny is to rise up against the Horned Enderman.
I've run into him before. I couldn't defeat him. I have no idea how to do that. I just want to find a cure for my zombie form and go home.
You will find a way.
This was a lot to take in. I wasn't sure how I felt about it all. Of course I wanted to help, but how? Thanks for telling me all about it. I need to do some thinking outside. I went on a walk around the mushroom field at night to think about everything. The mushrooms were grazing in the field with their babies. Hogatha came and joined me.
You okay?
Not really.
Want to talk about it?
I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to fight Endermen at all, let alone an ultimate Enderman bad guy.
I know that Endermen don't like water. Maybe that can help.
That is something. I was hoping I could just cure myself and get home. Do you have a family, Hogatha?
No, the Horned Enderman took them all. It's just me now.
I'm sorry to hear that. I guess he really does need to be stopped. We sat and looked at the ocean. It was so peaceful to watch the waves and smell the mushroom aroma. Hey, do you see that light out there? I could make out a small roof on the mainland. There was purple smoke coming from the chimney, just like I had seen when I teleported here. Maybe it was where the witches lived. Maybe they could help me. I decided to go investigate in the morning. On day 45
54 to 49, I got into my boat and set sail across to the hut. It didn't take too long to find it in the daylight. The purple smoke smelled just like when I teleported. This had to be the witch's cottage. I made my way up the stairs. I knocked and there was some scuffling around inside, and then the door opened and a wand was shoved into my face.
Who are you and what do you want?
I'm looking for the Witches of Fate. Is this their cottage?
Of course it's not. This is my cottage.
Who are you?
I am Flimflam, the mediocre wizard. So don't try any funny business or I'll turn you into a mediocre newt.
Did you by chance cast a spell recently that could teleport someone from the nether to the overworld?
How did you know that? Bless my soul, my spell did work. You're the Zoglin I summoned and then promptly lost.
I think you better explain some things to me. The mediocre wizard let me into his hut. He had all sorts of magical looking items. He then suddenly shot his wand at the wall. I turned around and saw a call to action. An action to subscribe, that is. Which you should do. And also search for more of my videos. Zozo. Z-O-Z-O. Anyway, Mr. Mediocre, you were explaining something?
So you see, I knew I needed to get to you before the Horned Enderman did. I admit that although I've been practicing magic for a long time, well, I mess up a lot. So I found this spell to get you over here, but then I wasn't sure if it worked because you never showed up.
It worked, but you dropped me into a random place in the overworld. I wish you wouldn't have done that. I used to be a handsome hoglin. Now look at me.
Oh my, yes, I can see what you mean. But you know, there's a cure for that.
There is?
Of course. I know it takes a golden carrot and something else. I can't remember off the top of my head.
And if you got me here, you can get me back home, right?
Of course, but I brought you here for a reason. We need to find the Dark Trident before the Horned Enderman does.
If I help defeat him, can you cure me and send me home?
You got yourself a deal.
I was so glad I was finally getting answers. All this excitement really tuckered me out. I asked the wizard if I could sleep off some of my exhaustion. He was cool with it. On days 50 to 53, I looked around the wizard's hut and saw so many magic potions and wands.
I see you are admiring my collection of magical objects.
I like your wizard hat too.
Oh yes, this hat is awesome. I can use potions and they last forever. Maybe one day you can get a wizard hat of your own once you've learned some things.
So do you have a plan for how to defeat the Horned Enderman?
Of course, you. And that was as far as I got.
I bet some of your wands and potions will come in handy. Can I try one of your wands? The wizard agreed and selected an ice wand. I was pretty excited and I ran to the water to test it out. Abracafree stuff. I froze the water into ice cubes. I definitely like this idea of learning magic. I think you should come with me and meet our other friends. We have a mushroom base across the way. We can all make a plan. Can I take this wand with me? The wizard agreed, got in his own boat, and we sailed off. As we sailed across, we noticed something splashing on the surface. We got closer and saw it was a mermaid surrounded by a shark.
Looks like it's a good time to use that wand, Zozo.
I jumped out of my boat and jumped on the rock the mermaid was on, and excitedly took out the wand and started pointing it at the water around the shark. The water was turned into ice, and the sharks were frozen in ice cubes. You sharks need to cool it. Are you okay, mermaid? The mermaid came closer to me.
Thank you for helping me out. That was a close one. Who are you guys?
My name is Zozo, and this is Flimflam the wizard. We are just some friends who are trying to stop the Horned Enderman. You probably don't know who that is, huh?
Actually, yeah, I do. Those sharks work for him. They were trying to get me to tell them where the Dark Trident is.
What? Are you serious? That's why they want me too. We were just meeting up on the Mushroom Island to make a plan on how to stop him.
How about I follow you over there? I can team up with you.
That's a great idea. Follow us. We were assembling a pretty epic team. On days 54 to 57, we sailed up to the Mushroom Island. I told the mermaid to wait at the shore and walked up to the base. I introduced Flimflam to the group. Smithers and Flimflam were both suspicious of each other at first, but after some explaining, they both realized they were on the same side. I took some time to break away from the group and work some more on my statue. I added some good red coloring to it. I was halfway there. I made my way back to the base, and then I heard splashing in the water. I almost forgot about the mermaid. I went and spoke with her at the beach. Her name was Dolphine, but she went by Dolly. Dolly told me about why the sharks were after her. She knew of a portal called the Whirlpool of Want. They wanted the location.
This whirlpool takes you to the Witches of Fate.
I didn't think you could get to them.
That's what they want you to think.
What if you take us to this whirlpool? Maybe we can ask the witches if there's a weapon that can destroy the Dark Trident. Dolly agreed to this plan, and I went and let the team know where I was going. Before we left, I did what I could to make sure my health and weapons were shipshape. I was ready to follow the mermaid to the Whirlpool of Want. On days 58 to 62, we were out in the middle of the ocean when the mermaid pointed ahead.
There it is. Just sail straight into it.
You sure this will work? I didn't want to get stuck at the bottom of this whirlpool. Besides, I hardly knew this mermaid. This could be a trick.
Pretty sure. Here, let me go in ahead of you. Let me see what happens.
She swam right into the whirlpool and it swallowed her up. I waited for a few minutes. The whirlpool started to gurgle and out popped the mermaid. There she blows. Well, it looked like it worked. Onward. I jumped off the ship and into the whirlpool. The whirlpool had a portal at the bottom and it spat me out onto dry land. I was in the end?
And what do we have here? A wayward Zoglin.
A voice cackled from the sky. It seemed to come from all around me.
You seek how to destroy the Dark Trident. We know everything about all of you, but we don't do things out of the kindness of our hearts. We are witches. We make trades. What did you bring to trade?
panicked. I didn't know I needed to trade something. 3 witches appeared in front of me.
Well, what will it be? If you want the Wand of Weather, you will have to give us something that interests us.
Wand of Weather? This wand will destroy the Dark Trident?
You bet your little Zoglin britches.
I offered them my wand, my swords, my potions, anything I could think of that seemed really neat, but they didn't want any of it. They already had piles of that stuff. I wonder if they would take something that only has sentimental value. I offered them the poppy that Geo had given me.
A poppy? You have got yourself a deal.
Poof, they disappeared, and in their place was a wand.
We forgot to mention one little thing. Only a true heroic act can activate this wand.
Their voices trailed off. A heroic act? I do those things all the time. That doesn't seem too difficult. I wanted to stick around to sniff around, but suddenly there was a whole mob of zombies headed my way. I ran for the portal and jumped through. On days 63 to 66, I was ejected out of the whirlpool. I told Dolly about everything and then sailed back to our base. There was smoke on the horizon. We got close to the island and saw our base had been attacked. The horned Enderman must have discovered our base. I jumped out of my boat and made my way to my base entrance where I saw Smithers. I found out that they had kidnapped Hogatha. They thought she was me. No, Hogatha, I will rescue you.
I will fly fast and try to find her. You need to continue on your quest. If you can defeat the Horned Enderman, Hogatha will be spared.
I wanted to go with Smithers, but I knew he was right. Smithers would take good care of the situation. He quickly flew away. I was going crazy with worry, so I had to distract myself. Those henchmen had really done a lot of damage. We had so many repairs to make. There was only one way to handle this situation: a rebuilding montage. We upgraded a lot of things and then got started building a moat around the base. Flimflam suggested that we add a water path for Dolly to be able to swim in and out, so we added that too. Afterwards, I stepped back and admired our work. It's amazing what you can do when you're motivated. Just then, I wondered if my statue had been destroyed. I ran over to the field, and luckily it was just how I left it. I finished off the face. Can you tell what it is? I guess it's pretty obvious now, but I still needed to add the pièce de résistance. Later, on days 67 to 70, I tried out the Wand of Weather, but couldn't get it to do anything. Maybe it only worked around the trident. We had better locate the trident to try and destroy it. I hoped it would work for me. Flimflam appeared behind me and said,
Zozo, you're the one with the magical nose. Where do you think we should go to find the trident?
I closed my eyes and I sniffed the air, focusing on where it could be. All I smell is Hogatha. I'm worried about her.
I'm right here, silly.
Hogatha and Smithers were back. Smithers had found her wandering back to the island. They had let her go after realizing she was the wrong Zoglin, but Hogatha was certain they were tracking her.
We can use that to our advantage. We can have Hogatha stay here as a decoy while you sneak off to get the trident.
I didn't like the idea of potentially putting Hogatha in harm's way, but she insisted on the plan. Everyone else would stay at the base to protect Hogatha. Meanwhile, Dolly and I would go on our quest. I got on my boat and followed the faint scent of the dark trident. We eventually came into a desert with cactus and pyramids on the shore. Dolly pointed out that there were ancient ruins in the water. Perfect spot to find a trident, and I can tell we are close. Just then, my ship started to shake. What was that? I looked over the edge. Dolly, there's a lot of angry noodles wiggling around the water.
I don't think that's a noodle, Zozo. I think it's a giant octopus.
Yikes, we would have to think fast. I shot arrows at it, but that just made it more mad. It hit my boat and busted it. Oh no, he even managed to hit me a few times. He really packed a punch. I would have to swim my way out of this.
I'll use my siren song to lure it away. You head for a cove to hide.
What about you?
I'll be fine. I can outswim these guys.
Dolly started singing and the octopus was put in a trance-like state and started following Dolly. Meanwhile, I booked it for the shoreline. I saw a cove that had a very strong smell coming from it. I knew I was hot on the Trident Trail. Dolly was nowhere to be seen though. I hoped she was okay. The cove wasn't empty though. A pirate ship was there as well. Where there is pirates, there is treasure. I looked around and sure enough, I found not one, but 2 treasure chests. What does this one have? Whoa, it's a Respiration 3 helmet. Now that's convenient. I opened the other one up and it had a heart potion. I moved topside and took it and got 10 more hearts, and I grew into a large-sized Zoglin. Now we're talking. I was ready for some underwater exploration, but Dolly hadn't showed up yet. Well, I hope she can find me. On days 71 to 74, I started to swim through the shallow waters of the cove that led to a watery underground cave. It was very dark. I noticed some obsidian floating around in the cave and picked it up for later. The dark trident had to be around me somewhere. The scent was so strong. I could also smell trouble. I dove under the water to have a look around, but it was so dark. Suddenly, someone grabbed my hooves. Ah! Oh my goodness. It was just Dolly. She had found me. You scared the ham right out of me. I'm glad you're okay though. She held out her hand.
Sorry, Zozo. Look at this. This is a glowstone. It will help light our path.
Awesome. It was so nice having Dolly to help me. She set the glowstone on the floor of the cave, and we could see a little opening. We swam through it. It led into a big space with large wall ruins. There were lots of tall vines growing all over the ruin.
Hey, look!
The dark trident was just sitting on top of a mound of sand. Just then, out popped hordes of drowns. I didn't come this far to be beaten by a bunch of water zombie punks. You're going down. We fought with all our might and wits. We had to win. There were many, but we were mighty. Sure enough, we were able to take care of all of them. Hi, Finn, Dolly. We gathered around the trident. I got out my weather wand and nothing happened. We had just defeated all these drowns. That was super heroic. Shouldn't that heroic act have activated the trident?
Were those witches lying?
I don't know.
Well, grab it and let's go. We can try to destroy it some more back at the base.
I was hesitant, but I agreed.
Now that you have obsidian, you can build a portal back home.
Really? That will be awesome. Although, I'm still a Zoglin. We need a cure so I can fit back in at home.
I like you as a Zoglin. I think you look cool.
Thanks, Dolly. I just don't know what my family will think. Suddenly, everything started to shake. I reached and grabbed the trident. We had to get out of here. We swam back through the hole in the cavern wall and back up to the surface, and then back to the mouth of the cove. Everything was crumbling. We barely made it out in time. On days 75 to 78, I sailed back to our base. I thanked Dolly for all of her help, and she told me she needed to return to her kingdom before her family started to worry. I'll never forget you, Dolphine. At the mushroom base, I peeked through the window and saw my friends had finished my statue for me while I was gone. It looked great. It was a mushroom with a pumpkin on top to remember Burr by. You guys are the best. After that, we all gathered around the trident. I needed to destroy this thing quickly. I tried the wand again. Nothing. I've done so many heroic things. Why wasn't it working? I pointed it at the sky and thought about my awesome friends and how brave they always were. This time it jiggled a little, a few clouds came out, and made it rain a tiny bit. Well, that was something.
You'll get the hang of this in time, Zozo. I believe in you.
I was so distracted by the wand that it took me a while to notice the strong odor of evil floating into the base. The horned enderman had to be near. I picked up the trident, started sniffing around, and went into my base. On day 79 to 84, I looked outside our window. A bunch of endermen surrounded our base gate, and there was the horned enderman standing there. You have got to be kidding me.
Little Zog, let me in, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your base in.
That dude is terrifying, even when he speaks in rhymes. I'm going to start building that portal, and maybe we can take the trident to the nether.
You escape with the trident. I'll fight them off.
Smithers ran out of the room. I built and lit the nether portal.
You can't do this alone.
Agatha joined him to fend off the base. I thought to myself and decided not to run. I had to be a hero if I wanted this wand to work. I told Flimflam to guard the trident. I pulled my sword out and ran out as well. After fighting for a bit, I swapped my sword out for the bow and started shooting. With each arrow I fired, the endermen teleported away. But suddenly, they charged me, and I took a big hit. Ouch! I started swinging my sword, and I did my best to take them all out. At long last, all of the endermen were defeated. Where was the horned enderman, though? I noticed he wasn't around. I looked up into the mushroom base windows, and there he was. He was in the room with Flimflam and the trident. Oh no! Smithers, the trident! Smithers flew up where they were. By the time I got there, Flimflam had been injured, and Smithers was facing off with the horned enderman. With ease, the horned enderman grabbed the trident and teleported out of the base. Smithers followed him outside, and I did too.
The dark trident can only work with a heart of pure evil. Watch as I turn this thing lethal.
With that, the horned enderman hit Smithers with the dark trident. No, how could he? I pulled out the wand of weather and pointed it at the trident. Storm clouds gathered and it started to rain pretty hard, but it didn't seem to do anything to the trident. The rain did, however, scare off the horned enderman since he teleported away. With the enemy gone, I ran to Smithers' side.
This is the end for me. Promise me you'll stop him.
Then Smithers disintegrated, leaving behind a nether star. I was so sad and picked up the nether star. I placed it down at the entrance of the house. It would forever shine bright on us, as Smithers did. On days 85 to 89, Agatha and I went through the portal to the nether. We knew time was short. The horned enderman would be marching through with his undead army at any moment. We landed in the Crimson Forest. Welcome to my homeland.
Wow, everything is so hot and spicy looking here.
Home, sweet and spicy home. I miss the smell of lava. We started to walk around a bit when suddenly a mob of piglins was coming toward us. Well, looks like it's never a dull moment. Let's kick some hams. We used our arrows, swords, and strength to take down the mob. We continued exploring the nether for a bit until we got to the edge of a cliff. The lava was hot below us. I carefully laid down dirt to get across. I noticed more piglins coming at us, so I broke off a brick of the block bridge so they couldn't follow us.
Well, that was a very lava-hot welcome. Where's your family?
They aren't far. I can smell them. On days 90 to 94, I heard some low oinking. It was my family. They were munching on fungi, as usual. Hey, you guys, I'm back. Who the oink are you? Oh, great. It was Bebop, the bully. It's me, Zozo. I look a little different now. I'm bigger and
freakish looking. You're not one of us anymore.
I just returned from the overworld, so I got zombified. But I'm still Zozo, and these are my friends. We have come to warn you.
Warn us about what? Are you threatening us? You think you could just disappear one day and then come back and act all tough? That's it. No one threatens us.
No, I'm not threatening. Bebop came charging at me. I put my head down and got ready to return his blow. I hit Bebop a lot, and he simply backed off. I'm bigger and stronger than you now, Bebop. Time to stop picking on others, or I'm gonna have to teach you another lesson. I told the rest of the ZOGLIN family what I'd been up to and where I went. These are my friends. They've been helping me. You see, we got a weapon that can stop this evil dude from coming here and destroying everything. He's known as the Horned Enderman. Bebop must not have learned his lesson because he butted in.
We will never believe you. You're just a bunch of freaks.
I'd much rather be a freak than a boring old piece of bacon. I pity you. You can't see past your own snotty snout. I used to worry about what you all would think of me as a ZOGLIN, but now I don't care. I'm proud of who I am on the inside and out. My friends taught me that. You can either show respect for me and my friends, or you and I can settle this again, for good. Hog to Zog. I pulled out my wand of weather. It was suddenly glowing and surging with energy. I had been heroic by standing up for myself and my friends, even against my own kind. I was done being ashamed of what I looked like. I loved my zombie self. I held the wand into the air and created rain in the nether.
Okay, I'm sorry. I won't pick on you or anyone else. Please make it stop.
I put the wand away and the crazy weather stopped. It was all the proof the Hoglins needed. On days 95 to 98, we decided we would make a big hill with a fortress on top so we could have the high ground. Flim Flam also came over from the overworld and insisted on making me wear his wizard's hat. It would keep my health up even after being attacked. Our hill fortress was looking pretty cool, and we were able to recruit some other nether mobs. We got mobs of piglins and wither skeletons. We set up inside the fort. It was then that the sky opened a portal and outpoured all sorts of undeads. Drowned necromancers, skeletons, zombies, zombified piglins, and husks. Fight hard and stay safe. We just need to stay alive long enough until I can attack the trident. The ZOGLINs attacked with their tusks to punt them away into the lava. The mutant piglins used their quality swords to cut them down. The mutant husks smashed with their fists. We were all fighting hard, but still, some of our allies didn't survive. I needed to find the Horned Enderman. The longer this went on, the more deaths there would be. The hordes of undead just kept coming too. But we fought with all of our might. After defeating some of the undead creatures, the piglin commander gave me a health potion. I drank it and my hearts leveled up. I got 20 hearts, and then I became even bigger. I couldn't lie, I looked pretty intimidating. After that, we returned to the fort. On day 99, I heard something happen at the portal again and ran out. The Horned Enderman finally emerged from the portal. Horned Enderman, you are going down.
What are you going to do? Sprinkle me with water? Oh no, how will I ever survive such hullabaloo? Ha! See my mighty undead army. This world is doomed. There is no way to disarm me.
Go ahead and laugh, but this is for Smithers. He threw the trident at me, breaking my armor. He was terribly powerful.
Thank you for bringing me this trident. I think this is a death well spent.
I heard my friends shout, and they came to my side.
For Smithers!
Their chant brought me strength. I shot the wand into the air. For Smithers! It started to rain. Thunder boomed loudly, and there was a mighty zap. A powerful bolt of lightning struck the trident. The Horned Enderman exploded, and the trident shattered. We did it! Just like that! The wand had worked! We all cheered and celebrated. On day 100, after we had finished celebrating and honoring those who had fallen, I had to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my ZOGLIN years. I said goodbye to my family and promised to come home every Sunday for Crimson dinner. I would be the ZOGLIN wizard of the newly named Smither Island. But in the meantime, I would study more magic and defend the weak, always keeping a balance to good and evil. And most of all, I'd spread heroic courage, a love for others and oneself, freakish looks and all. I knew Smithers would be proud.